Phoenix Down Radio is on the air. With your hosts, Klaus Nightbringer, Seyrr Chili, and Luna Vox.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix Down Radio episode number 36. How's it going, everybody?
Yay!
It's going.
It's gotta go,
I
right?
don't want to get any more lore. Can I just be done with that bit now?
Are you still working on the Umbrite stage?
Yes.
You poor
You
bastard.
poor soul.
It gets
soul.
better.
That sound like some people who want to run a bunch of ethereochemical research facility after this.
Thanks for the
no,
offer,
my
but I
hand
think I'll
broken
have to
suddenly.
pass.
Say, I'll run some with you.
Do you have a character on? Wait, data center. We can do this.
Yes.
Hi,
Oh, God.
fighters.
There you go. So, before we go any further, I want to issue a spoiler alert. We will be spoiling the story today. So, if you have not experienced any of the main scenario, Warring Triad, or Shadows of Mach series, they will be spoiled. You may want to go finish those and come back, or you've been warned. So,
This is not an excuse to say, oh, well, I was never going to do it and skip the cutscenes. I will know.
I totally didn't think it said boiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, you want to be careful
The
with those.
boiler's
They're
gonna
hot.
blow.
boiling water is hot. You have to be careful, yes.
You could get burned. It would suck.
That is true. So, how's everybody been this past couple of weeks?
Been good. I've done a lot in game, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know. Same here. As most people are probably aware, I've been playing a lot. I suppose I can bring us into the game now, huh? There we go.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, I forgot to hit the button, but that's all right. For those on the
All our
podcast, it
lovely
doesn't
viewers.
affect it. But those watching live right now at twitch.tv/Phoenix Sound Radio, now you can see our lovely characters. Aren't we beautiful?
And now I can see where the camera's pointing and actually try to face it. God, that always bugs me so much.
Which is why we generally want you to be here ahead of time, but somebody was too busy trying to get their blessed mind pick axe thingy.
Yeah, God, it's still 4,950 freaking blue script. What's with you, Rowena?
Oh, I suppose because you have to buy the books.
Yep. Yeah, I had all the botany folklore books already, so that was nice, but I'm still missing one or two for mining.
Yeah, I don't think I have any of them. I think I got a couple of fishing ones, and that was it. Or maybe I didn't. I don't remember.
I haven't done any of that.
Yeah.
And that's why your botany axe doesn't glow.
It doesn't need to
You know
glow.
what?
It still does the things.
Yeah, it gets me my things.
Yeah. Also, mine doesn't glow unless I'm chopping a tree. If I just have it out, it doesn't do anything. I feel a little ripped off.
All that work, and you're stuck with a unglowy thing.
I feel really bad for a friend of mine did the goldsmithing ones with that includes all the housing items. Have you seen the goldsmithing housing items? And then it's just a tiny little hammer glowing. You can barely even see it.
All right. Well, I guess I won't bother going through that then.
The alchemy one is totally worth it, though. The entire furnace glows.
What's the culinary, Rob? Yeah. That word that I can't say right now, like the culinary.
Culinary?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Is it a frying pan?
I mean, it is a skillet. Do I have anything I can cook?
I don't know. Do you?
I'm checking.
This makes for
here we
great
go.
podcasting, doesn't it, guys?
There we
It
go.
does indeed.
Oh, damn it. It uses a kitchen knife.
Great job.
Good job.
I like your glamour though. That looks nice.
Thank you.
Anything else
Yeah.
exciting been going on inside or outside of game?
Well, I got my, what did I'll get to 60 this week.
Oh yeah, you've
got
been
my bard.
busy with that, haven't you?
I have been. I got my bard. I got my black mage up to 60. And yeah, now I'm working on my lancer, soon to be dragoon.
Oh, there we go.
Looks like it's just the fry
I want
pan.
that.
But that is very glowy. How can you tell what color the ball is?
Oh, that's the best bit. Like, it actually becomes noticeable. If it's the black one, when it after Excellent and the Rainbow, it goes to that black pour one. It looks like a void in space in the middle of my skillet. It's great.
That doesn't sound safe.
I want that now. I'm gonna have
You're
to work on
cooking
my
the
coloring.
void.
Yeah, like, have you tasted the void? It's like this gastronomic, what's the term? Molecular gastronomic deconstructive experience.
You mean
By
as
which
it
I mean it will probably
deconstructs your
deconstruct you.
your tongue or your taste buds or potentially
Haha,
you.
beat you to the joke.
Mwah, mwah.
Womp womp womp.
But no, I've been doing
Okay,
lots of
back-
PvP. That's actually, the PvP is fun in the game. What made it not fun was the waiting. The fact that we had to sit, 30 minutes for like a feast queue or like 2-3 hours for front lines.
Have you been queuing as a frontline freelancer? My queues were way faster.
Well, no, I'm talking about before we got the freelance option.
Oh, yeah. No, I never did it before. It's only now that the queues are actually manageable because you can go as whichever group that I actually started doing it.
Even if you go as what your current free company is, the queues are pretty fast. I actually have pretty good luck getting in as Maelstrom, and it doesn't take very long, less than 5 minutes for front lines.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's really
Garo
nice.
then.
Right now, I would say Garo is probably the biggest one. I mean, you need to have so many wins in order to get the achievements so you can get your mounts. But Feast, oh my god, those queues are just super fast. We're talking usually less than 2 minutes.
Wow.
At least for the 8v8 that I've been doing. And it's been fun. I mean, I've been doing enough. I got the cheerleader minion, and I got enough to get both of the faded scrolls to make the orchestrion rolls for the PvP music. So
Oh,
nice.
God, I need to get those.
So that's a total of 30,000 wolf marks to get all those. So
I just got
Damn.
an invisible shield, which, thank you guys, invisible shield. You get to look so cool. I am an awesome swordsman.
Nice.
Like, I think people have been wanting that for a while, and it just looks so cool. You get to be a totally different feel there.
what do you mean it's not there?
Exactly. I don't need a shield.
So how
You
does it
kind of
look
look like a
cool?
wimpier Dark Knight. I'm just saying.
And, but, like, I can be like, I'm going to block stuff with my arm.
You're gonna get your arm chopped off is what's gonna happen.
No. See, I've got these
Flesh
gloves.
wound.
They're like really tough gloves. I toughened the leather. It's
We're
great.
gonna start calling you Seyrr Skywalker.
Does that mean I get a robot arm? I
well-
feel like I'm
Yay!
already kind of impinging on Raubon's territory here.
Roland doesn't have a robot arm.
No.
Yet.
Yet. Give it
Anyway,
time.
I know it's not Final Fantasy related, but I did also this week get a Go Plus for Pokemon Go. You know,
Oh, nice.
the little Bluetooth accessory.
Oh my god, that's a thing? What does that even do?
It's actually it does something very amazing. It allows the game to run in the background.
Oh, that is amazing.
It may not sound like much, but for those of you
No. That's awesome.
Yeah, for those of you who do play the game, I mean, that is almost game breaking because you don't know how many miles, I mean, how many hundreds of miles I have gone in the runs that I've been doing that would not have been counted without this little piece of tech. Now that I've got it, I'm getting all of these different, I can hatch eggs faster. I can get candies from my buddy faster. It's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
And it tells you when Pokestops and Pokemon are around. You just hit a button and you get a chance to catch a Pokemon.
That actually does sound pretty nice.
I mean, it does suck. It's $35 for a little plastic piece, but it's not even rechargeable. That's the weird part. I thought it would have like a little rechargeable battery, but it uses little coin batteries.
huh.
But they're still really popular. So I mean, most of the times, if you find one in stock somewhere and you've been thinking about it, pick it up because you're not going to find them on sale. Generally, so if it's something you're thinking about, I would definitely say go for it. But it just it does change your experience.
For fantasy news, I tried ATNS again this week. We got a bit further. and I tried Zerva on Extreme today, and we didn't really do well. So
I've been seeing a lot of different people tweeting about their Zervan X clears this week.
it's not too bad. You just got to find a party that knows how to do it. Our DPS was too low, so we wouldn't skip in the first saw. People were just getting killed by it.
I've just been having too much fun with other stuff in the game to jump into Zervan, or just haven't really felt like wanting to. Been scared, I guess, a little bit.
I didn't really want to, but a mate wanted to run it, so
eventually, yes, I want to run it. I still need the clears out of Sophia and Nidhogg too, so
I need Forden, Sephiroth, Nidhogg.
we'll get the clears.
Oh God, I'm missing a lot of those.
We'll put something together, I'm sure, to get those clears. Because we got to do the burb farms. Because, oh my God, that Firebird is amazing, isn't it?
Yes, it looks amazing.
So many people with the Fireburb. We got to have one of those.
Oh my God, if anyone calls it a burb again, I will murder you.
Burb.
You can't see my face. You can't see how much my eye is twitching. I assure you, it is twitching.
And welcome our new host of Phoenix Down Radio, Seyrr, as he murdered Klaus.
Well, no, he's no longer the host because he's now serving 3 consecutive life sentences because it was premeditated.
Fine then.
Like the court system works that fast.
Our new hostess, Luna Vox. Yay!
I'm okay with this turn of events.
Who was currently muted because
What?
well, apparently Seyrr's going to jail for killing me for saying burb. So you're the host.
Oh,
Hey,
cool.
I'm pretty sure I can get the jury to say this was a victimless crime.
Welcome to Luna Vox Radio with your host, Luna Vox. And
Yay.
Chili.
And chili.
Everyone else is currently dead and / or in jail.
We'll
So
occasionally
anyways.
try and get Seyrr on during his prison breaks when we can visit him.
And maybe you'll
Seyrr,
you can do a seance
Seyrr,
and
if
try and
you're
get me on.
good- if you have good behavior, maybe they'll give you a microphone and an internet connection.
Ooh.
So yeah, that ain't happening. Anyway,
Wow.
this has been a really big week for Final Fantasy news. Most of you may be aware, Square Enix is celebrating Final Fantasy's 30th anniversary this year. The official 30th anniversary is going to be closer to the end of the year when the original Final Fantasy was released. But starting on the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, which was the 31st of last month, they had a special 30th anniversary stream. And they announced a lot of upcoming news. Mm-hmm. For instance, they finally gave us a date for the Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age remaster. So that's going to be set for July 11th in North America and Europe, and July 13th in Japan and Asia. So that's
it was June.
It's July, I thought. That's what I was reading. 7/11 and 7/13. That's July. Stormblood's June.
I thought it was June for us in Europe and North America, and July for Japan.
I thought it was just 2 days difference.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Huh?
Anyways.
It's July, you're right.
There we go then.
Double checking. Zodiac Age PS4, July 11th. That's right from
Yes, that
Square.
means I don't have to ignore.
That's right from the Square Enix store. So
Nice. I was heard June at one point.
No.
Thank God.
nope, they're wrong. You find them and you smack them. You tell them you're wrong, bitch.
Finally, I normally skip 12 because it came out after the PS3 here, so I was worried that I'd have to skip it again with Stormblood.
Nope, you'll be able to play. Well, hopefully you'll be caught up with a lot of Stormblood because, well, you'll only be 3 weeks into it.
Oh my God, if this is a thing where it's like 3 weeks in, it's why haven't you leveled everything to 70? I will murder you all.
Oh, God.
You should have at least 2 by then.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. So
Kidding.
we actually are doing the next one with me from prison, are we?
Well, they did say more
no.
XP is coming from main story, so
I actually, at
Yeah.
that point, I think I'll probably have 2. I'll have probably Bard and Red Mage.
Depending on how much XP you actually get from it,
But-
chances are it might be possible.
And how will you manage that with all the time you need to take to watch the cutscenes?
I'm a speed reader. Anyway, moving on. Final Fantasy 15 DLC news. Episode Gladio is coming out in March 28th. So if you've got the season pass, you'll be getting that available as soon as it drops. If you don't have it, you should get it. Looks good.
That Moogle Chocobo Carnival is going on for another 2 weeks at this point, I think.
I thought it was going to the end of the month or till like
20th Feb.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it stops when the Exosuit DLC comes?
Yep.
Okay. So
Oh my god, I spent like 5 hours straight fishing. And then I went back into the main game and got a fishing reel that was better than the starter one, and then it was a little easier.
yes, definitely. If you level up your fishing, you can get some pretty decent gear from that. And then you finally meet the there's a fisherman you meet in the game, and he gives you even more. So
Well, the booster pack that's coming out just after the event ends will give you a new fishing rod and lure.
is that with the 21st DLC?
Yeah.
Okay. The big thing that's coming out of that one is the exosuits. So basically, your boy band can start to look like Power Rangers,
Oh boy.
right?
Is there a Power Ranger boy band? I feel like that's a thing that already exists.
Well, if there's not, there can be now. You can make your Final Fantasy 15 band into the Power Rangers boy band you've always dreamed of.
And do you know what overpowered effect it does?
What's that? The power of love.
It makes your characters completely invincible for 30 minutes.
What?
Was it? I thought it was a shorter period.
30 minutes, but it has a 24-hour reset.
So basically, you would don that just before you go into a major dungeon, huh?
Yeah, but remember, you do have to wait 24 hours until it resets.
And also, I mean, the game's been out for 2 months, 3 months, like a pretty decent amount of time at this point. If you're still working through it, I could see having that as a useful anti-frustration feature.
Yeah, especially for some fights.
I've actually just been taking my time with it.
Well, yeah. But for someone who had been playing it a lot and had reached a point where like, oh, I just can't deal with this, I could see it enticing people to play a bit more. Of it's like, hey, for 30 minutes, you can not have to worry about taking damage.
Yeah, I'm going to use it for some of the endgame dungeons, like the level 99 one where you can't use any items or magic, I think it was.
Well, maybe you can't use that either.
Maybe, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I would think that would kind of be broken if they don't have some sort of stipulations or limitations on it. So,
well, the dungeon takes about an hour or so.
So you put it on halfway through.
Yeah.
Because I know some of those dungeons were pretty tough. But anyway, moving on. Seyrr, this one will probably interest you. Mobius Final Fantasy will be available on Steam February 6th.
Yeah, I saw about that. You can load your current game into it, so and there's some rewards for starting the Steam one. So I'll probably go ahead and do that. Get a couple free summon tickets and whatnot.
I don't know if there's a charge to it, but like I said, the fact that you can bring in your existing character will be nice, so you don't have to worry about starting all over again. And I think
that
it'll
sounds
be
really
nice
good to me.
because the graphics on the mobile device aren't bad. So just imagine how good they're going to be on a PC.
Also, I won't have to worry about it destroying my battery.
That too. Their mobile games are pretty battery hungry.
The graphics are gorgeous, but that does not come cheap.
No, exactly.
And yeah, it does look like it's a free download, at least from what I can see.
Yep. And they're going to be adding a Final Fantasy VII remake collaboration starting the next day. So you're going to be able to have, I believe, Sephiroth's going to be in the game.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen much of the details about that.
Neither have I, but we'll get into more of that in just a little bit. So with the 30th anniversary, Distant Worlds will be starting a new tour starting in July. Sadly, the only North America dates listed on there are going to be Chicago, September 16th, and Toronto, December 2nd. Everything else is going to be JP and Europe.
Boo.
Well, Chicago is only an 8-hour drive.
Only. Only an 8-hour drive.
It's not much further than it would be to go down to where was it, down in Nebraska or something like that? Omaha.
I've never been to Omaha.
You know, because the current tour is going to be in Omaha on the 16th of March.
I mean, they've done the Distant Worlds tour a number of times, haven't they? Are they trying to get some new areas in it this time?
Well, there's been different tours. Like I said, this one is going to be a 30th anniversary tour, so it's going to feature some special music, new arrangements, things like that.
You all know they'll do a lot of the same stuff. They'll get in a choir to do One Winged Angel, all the usual.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll still be. I'd like to see the 30th anniversary tour because it's probably some more special stuff going on with it.
Yeah, just hold on and you can see the 40th anniversary. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not.
All right. And there's also going to be new Final Fantasy 15 piano collections and a new Final Fantasy Brass de Bravo musical tour going around Japan. I don't know if you've seen, they've been selling the music discs on the Square Enix store. So there's going to be, it's something they've been doing in Japan, I guess. It'd be kind of cool if we were to get something like that over here as well to kind of go with the Distant Worlds and the New World tours. Because the music is just one of the best things about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one, go ahead. Sorry.
I have some of the music in my workout playlist. Lots of good stuff to get pumped up and moving to. Battle themes are really, really good for that.
Yeah. Now this one is kind of interesting. You thought the whole cup noodle thing in Final Fantasy 15 was bad before. Now they decided to do a whole collaboration based on 15 new flavors based on a classic villain in each of the Final Fantasy games.
I really want to know how that's going to work.
Well, you got basically what it is. It's a whole set of 15 different cup noodles. You can only purchase it on the Nissan Japanese store site. So they won't deliver to us, sadly. I tried.
You just know that some enterprising people are going to be purchasing it and reselling it.
Well, we'll be able to get it that way. But the other thing they're doing is they have a special fork that's shaped like the Ultima sword from Final Fantasy VII. And this thing is like 2 feet long.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
And the only way you can get that, there's 30 of them that they're giving away if you purchase a set of the cup noodle. So yeah, I tried just to see if we could do it, but we can't order it.
So is it that they just have a different cup design for each one, or does each
different
of those
flavors.
cups actually have a different flavor?
There are 15 different flavors based off of a boss from the game. It's pretty crazy, and
I really wonder how some of those are going to match up.
I'm sure they taste fine. I'm sure they'll be interesting. And here's the fun part: it's about $53 US for a cup noodle.
Wow. They must really be the best tasting cup noodles ever.
Something
Apparently.
like that. And this one's for Luna.
What?
They have also talked about a Final Fantasy themed wine that's being released for the 30th anniversary. This kit comes with 2 Swarovski crystal covered glasses and is an absolute bargain at $950.
Only? Great.
Well, the thing is, you can get it's a vintage from 1987, which I guess they say you can find some places for about $70, $80. So those are some pretty expensive glasses.
Well, I mean, it's Swarovski crystal. Like, you're paying a bit for the name at that point.
Yeah.
But there's also going to be less expensive versions themed after Shiva and Ifrit as well. So you can get your Shiva wine.
Yeah, Shiva.
Yep.
Give me my Shiva wine.
Exactly. So Luna's going to be...
I feel like the Ifrit just wants you to make mulled wine out of it.
Did you say mold wine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
MULLED.
No,
it
sounded like it said MOLD.
Oh, no. That would be terrible.
I agree. That would be terrible.
Crunchy. Great.
All that mold. Like I mentioned earlier, Final Fantasy VII just celebrated its 20th anniversary at the end of the last month. They did come up with a new artwork for the remake featuring Cloud, a one-winged Sephiroth, and with Midgard in the background. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that, but that was actually pretty stunning.
I don't know if I've seen it. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think.
it did
if I
look
have.
really good.
I will be linking it's on the show notes after the show, so check out the website, phoenixonradio.com afterwards. As soon as I get this posted, we'll have it listed up there.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Isn't it? I'd love to have a wall scroll of that. And
I feel like that makes a really good desktop background.
That's part of the reason I think why they released it. So if you can find,
Yeah.
I just don't have one that would go wide enough for 3 monitors. So
Get a bigger monitor.
just need more monitors. That's all.
Just have 3 of the same image on the 3 monitors.
Why does it have it spread across?
Get so many monitors that they surround you in a sphere.
Oh God.
Then I get dizzy and fall down.
Well, it's like the first part of being in some kind of cyberpunk future.
Have enough monitors you can stick them around your wall.
Yo, dog, I heard
Every
you like
wall.
monitors, so we put a monitor in your monitor. Cloud will be released as a summon in Brave Exvius coming up soon, and like we mentioned, Sephiroth will be making an appearance in Mobius Final Fantasy, so look forward to those. Lots of fun stuff with that. In less than 2 weeks, or is it exactly 2 weeks? No, it's less than, isn't it? EU FanFest starts.
Whoop whoop.
30 euros, which is about $32.50 for those of us here in US. It includes a Uniminion and the tokens to get the Abes or Summoner's attire, which most
That
of
is
us already...
paid.
Go ahead.
That is paid in euros, right? So if the exchange rate changes, it could end up being less or more.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. Right. When I looked, it was like $32.45 or something like that.
I'm kind of annoyed in a way because I was at the North American Fan Fest and met you amazing guys. I got the Japanese Fan Fest stream, and now with the European Fan Fest, I'll have 12 Dream tokens, but there's only 2 outfits.
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll all have 12 too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm mainly getting because I've got 2 of the minions, I got to get the 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, I already planned.
I'm just saying the fact that it's kind of annoying that there's not a 3rd outfit for or something to do with your 3rd set of tokens.
Yeah, there should be a 3rd set of gear that you can get.
But I suspect they know if you're doing it at that point, it's because you want the full set of 3, and so it's like if you're that crazy for it, you're going to do it anyways.
And the thing is, the gear, at least the tokens aren't tradable. I'm assuming the gear won't be either.
No,
Probably not.
So I mean,
because that leads to resale issues.
Yeah, theoretically, you could, use it for a retainer, but the thing is, you'll glamour it once, and then you glamour it for everybody else too. So you only need the 2 sets.
Yeah.
And plus, unless you want the retainer to have your same outfit, you're going to get up like mine. I've got male character and I've got female retainer, so I'm going to give them the Luna outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Luna outfit. Not Luna.
The Luna. They're going to look like Luna?
I mean, if you really want them to, I can give you what I use on my character creator, but
I don't know. Like I said, it seems like a slightly missed opportunity for not creating that 3rd outfit, but I digress.
What would the 3rd outfit even be going that?
Waka.
Well, Lulu. No, Lulu.
But then you've got like 2 for female characters and 1 for male characters. You're going to have people complaining about the imbalance. You want
fuck
something
that. Women rule the world. Blah, 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 blah. Give me a Lulu outfit.
Hashtag boobs.
Something gender neutral?
No,
Kamari
fuck gender
suit.
neutral.
Hell, the men can wear the Lulu outfit. Then it's balanced.
I want a Lulu outfit, guys, now.
Anyway, a Lulu outfit would have been amazing, but they kind of missed the boat on that one. But I will be getting it. I know I will. I'm waiting a little bit to see if the exchange rate changes slightly or whatever, or maybe just lazy. Who knows? Other things.
Usually wait until the last minute. So.
Well, I know Chili's waiting for the last minute because he's probably going to get a free copy from Square.
Maybe. We'll see.
You will. You know you will. So speaking of other things from Square, Stormblood pre-orders went live on the 24th. I have my physical collector's edition pre-ordered. Yes, I'm spending $200.
I'm spending £179.99.
Luna's waiting for the Steam release.
Yeah, that's one big thing. If you guys are playing the game through Steam, you have to buy it off of Steam. Otherwise, it will not work.
Yeah, I mean, you can purchase if you want the items. You can purchase the collector's edition, but the version of the game will not work.
Yeah.
You could give that to a friend or sell it to a friend.
Or trade with a friend and have them buy you the Steam version.
That's a possibility as well. Because you can gift things from Steam from one person to another, so which is really cool. So I mean that's a possibility. If you really want the collector's edition, just find somebody who's willing to buy the Steam version for you, and then you swap the game codes. Right now you can get Mac, PC, and PS4 versions from the Square Enix site, as well as Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, all those places. But like I said, Steam is probably gonna be coming around May. They're usually a lot closer to the time.
Oh, carry on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm really happy that the price for all 3 editions are the same, because a lot of the times the PC versions are cheaper than the console.
They've always pretty much been the same price, at least with 14.
Yeah, with 14, but with a lot of games though and stuff. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I've seen some of the PC versions be $50, but the console's been $60 because that seems to be the console price is $60 or $40, one of the two. But so like I said, if you haven't yet, there's still plenty of pre-orders available. So if you pre-order, you get the early access, you get the pre-order bonuses of the Red Mage minion, the Alamegan earrings, and then whatever you get with the whatever version you order. So get those pre-orders in so you can get the early access. That's 4 free days to play ahead of time. All right. In game, there's a new gear design contest. Well, they're running 2 of them at once, basically. Ranged magic DPS and healer design contest. Luna, you want to talk a little about this one since you kind of like the design stuff?
Basically, this is a lot like the tank design contest we saw. They want you to send in a digital copy of a design that you thought up, and if they like it enough, you'll win a prize, and you get your design that you made implemented into the game.
Oh, one thing to note: it's specifically ranged magic DPS.
Yep. So it'd be black mage.
Classes that would wear the of casting or of healing armor sets.
So not bard, not machinist.
Yeah. Yep. So summoner, black mage, scholar,
red mage,
conjurer. Red mage? Would it be red mage?
Red mage is ranged magical.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean, they'll probably release the contest.
Well, the gear is going to be released in Stormblood,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, so
make sure it has a
if you have
big
a
feather
red
in the
mage.
hat.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, it needs to be something that would be wearable for like any of those roles, not just one of them, wouldn't it?
You know they're all going to be jealous of the red mage hat, so you might as well give them something that's close to it.
Just make
and
like
then people will be like,
why are you
Then people will be like, why are you giving away our signature hat, fuckers?
Well, that's why I said make it similar, not exactly.
Klaus just wants to be a red mage all the time, even if he's not on red mage.
Well, aren't I?
I don't know. Are you?
Red mage for life, baby.
Anyways, the contest is going on right now until February 24th. So get your designs in for sure during then. I'm sure we'll link the post in the show notes. Right, Klaus?
Yep, and it's also available out on the Lodestone as well.
Yep. If you want to go there.
And it doesn't just have to be digitally designed. You can hand draw it out and just scan it.
Yeah. Yep.
So you don't have to have master Photoshop skills. If you're better with pen and paper, go ahead and draw it out, take a picture, scan it, whatever, and just submit the pictures in the proper formats to the email addresses within the links. So.
Mm-hmm.
So please send a lot of heavy armor style, because we need some of that for mages.
Yeah, those mages need heavy armor, right? So they can clunk around.
Hey, sometimes a visual style can work. I actually, so I was telling them about this before the show, I don't know how long it'll take this stuff to show up on the video, but I had been going with kind of a lightly armored type thing for my Bard and Machinist, and I was like, I like this look. I want to use it for other things, but it doesn't really make sense for a tank. And it's like, hey, you can get something that still looks tanky, but with leathers. Like, it's kind of fun to sort of play with the assumption of, oh, the mages are always in cloth kind of thing. Like, I think it's kind of fun to give them something that, hey, maybe looks a little different, lets them play with that. Well, maybe not like big metal shell, but...
Yeah.
They do have the Harshiphant armor they can wear. And there's also the
that isn't that
the Power
just in that
Ranger
one scene?
armor. No, I thought there was one that was actually wearable by all classes.
I don't think so.
Anyway, moving on.
Right.
New Mog Station items, because we have the Valention's event going on right now. The items from past Valention's Day events are available on the cash shop. So go spend your money.
There's also a barding on there.
I think it's from previous.
It must have been the first one because I don't have it.
I think I do.
That's a Korea.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense then.
All right.
Butlery barding.
Gotcha.
So if you want a chocobo, that's your butler. There you go.
After a hard afternoon farming stuff in Zaharak, you maybe just want to have a few tea cakes.
Butler bow.
I want it because I'm British.
Butler bow.
Is that how being British works?
It has tea.
I guess that is how being British works.
But like I said, the Valention's Day event is live, and it's a thing. I'm not very impressed.
Let's talk about that.
I mean, the minion's cute. You can see it over Chili's head there. The Dota emote, it's all right. I mean, it's very emotive.
Okay, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back for a moment.
Stepping back.
So the Valention's event that's happening right now starts in Gridania, and basically the only thing you get from Quest is a new emote. That's it. Everything else you can just go buy.
Yep, and you can buy it without even doing the quest.
Exactly.
I mean, I bought the minion and the scroll before I even went to Gridania.
Yeah, I mean, I bought mine in Limsa, so yeah.
Yep, so did I.
And thing is, the quest. Okay, notice I said quest, as in one quest. That's it.
Can you even really call it a quest?
No, it's a go here, then go there.
You walk 10 feet and then you're done.
Yeah, watch a cutscene. Oh, wait, Luna skipped it.
No, I actually did watch it. I did watch it. I even did the repeatable ones just for shits and giggles.
Oh, so you watch things when it doesn't involve schoolboys?
Yes, pretty much.
I watched it too.
Sorry, Sarah, I'm not like you.
Sarah happens to like schoolboys.
There were schoolboys and schoolgirls, thank you. Wait, that's not helping.
No, it's not. It's really not. But yeah, the Valention's event, I mean, the email is cute, I guess, but you can also achieve that if you do /blow kiss and then turn on the heart effect in G pose. And that's
but that doesn't stalk your target.
It's true. I mean,
can you be more British and call it, say what it is again?
Don't?
No. What you just said, you smart. The S word.
Stalk the target?
Oh, you said stop. I thought you said like smug or smog or what's...
I mean, they're snogging.
Yeah, snogging, that's what I'm thinking.
You're gonna snog the target? What?
Yeah, we're just gonna jump up and stalk the target.
Next thing you know, it's gonna shag them?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, baby.
No, oh Lord. I need an adult. I need an adult.
I am an adult.
I need a different adult.
Anyway, the full information on the quest is available on the Lodestone. We'll link to that as well. Like I said, there's not a ton to talk about. Just go do it.
Well,
it'll take you a minute.
We've talked more about the quest than the quest actually takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Well, unless you do the repeatables, but then you get the heart things.
Yeah, I have a question for Seyrr. Did you do the repeatables?
Not yet. I actually was going to be doing them probably tomorrow.
They're kind of cute. You get friend zoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, Momody turned me down. That made me sad. I had
No
to
one
cry.
loves the Warrior of Light.
Nope.
They love you, just not that way.
It's all platonic.
They love you, but they're not in love with you.
They
Wait,
love
It's
the
it's
stuff
it's
you
not
do
you.
for them.
It's them.
They love what
Wow.
you do for them.
All right. So, speaking of other
It's all
events,
give in this relationship.
speaking of other events, ones that are a little bit more eventful, there is going to be a new scrap real escape game based off of the Trials of Bahamut coming this summer. Seyrr is lucky enough to live in an area where it's going to be at. Do you want to talk about this, Seyrr?
Sure, I've actually done a lot of escape room games. Scrap is not actually my favorite. I have a couple issues with their puzzle design philosophy, but that is a talk for another time, I suppose. Uh, but yeah, they've so for those of you who may remember them, there was that series of flash games that were really popular for a while, Escape from what such and such room, where it puts you in a locked room and you have to solve puzzles, put together various things in order to get out of it. And these types of games are pretty much a real life implementation of that. They started off with ones where you actually do get locked in a room, though I mean if there's an emergency they will let you out, but and you have to usually a 1 hour time limit to try to locate clues, put them all together, and recover the key that would let you out of there. I actually did the Legend of Zelda one they had where they announced the Final Fantasy XIV one. That was just this last Sunday. And that one's more of a sort of group style one. They usually have a whole bunch of tables with like a small table for each group of 6. And in that case, there's multiple teams working, traveling around between locations. So it's a little bit of a different format. You're not actually getting locked in a room, but it still has the same idea of you get various puzzles, some physical objects, some locations you need to travel to, and you're trying to, within the space of an hour, put everything together to complete a puzzle.
So it's the Crystal Maze.
The name that they used was actually Escape from the Labyrinth of Bahamut, which I know Labyrinth of Bahamut was the Japanese name for the Binding Coil, so I'm guessing it's themed around the Binding Coil somehow.
Which will be cool.
Yeah. Once it actually starts getting a little bit closer to the event, I can certainly talk a little bit about, for those who are planning to go to it or are interested in escape rooms, just some general best practices. You don't want to spoil anything, of course, but there's some general rules to know for any kind of escape room or escape event that will give you a bit of a better shot at it. And that's about it. I don't have anything further to say at the moment.
And that's all, folks.
I mean, I can talk your ear off for about an hour about general practices for checking a room, for putting together some of the clues for how to divide up your team, but I don't think anyone wants to really sit here and listen to that right now.
Maybe we'll do that on another show.
Another time.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. Another show.
Yeah. So if you're interested in going to this, it's going to 8 cities around the U.S. Keep an eye out for tickets near you. It's going to be in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Phoenix, Houston, Orlando, Chicago, and New York.
Yeah, it's only going to be this summer, so unfortunately it'll probably be gone by the time Distant Worlds is there, huh? We can do a twofer if it were.
Darn.
Right?
We'd have to announce it for England.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think they said something about how tickets would probably start going on sale around March, so maybe start just check in every so often.
yep, and we'll link that Lodestone post as well. So, again, lots of stuff going on for news this week. So,
Lots and lots, but it's all good.
all right. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there one more time, guys.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So, this is a spoiler cast. We will be spoiling the main story. So, if you have not finished it, now is your final warning. We will be talking about plot lines and things that happen. So, all right. So,
Whew.
that was quite the story we ended up getting, wasn't it?
That was.
I swear to God, I think they hired George R.R. Martin to write the script for this particular patch.
I mean, for my part, it mostly kind of reframed a lot of my expectations about what to expect or what to see in Stormblood, because like we just have this massive ratcheting up of hostilities with the Empire.
Well, yeah, there's that, but frickin' hell, everybody dies. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean.
Just the one guy.
Technically 2 guys. Well, one for sure. One we're not sure about.
And one of them we didn't really like, and I'm okay with his death.
Yeah.
So maybe not the manner of, and things sparked off from it.
Yeah. All right. So
Why
let's.
are we ignoring the names when with this is a spoiler cast?
Yeah.
We're gonna start
I
with
don't
the
know.
main scenario. So, Seyrr, you want to recap main scenario for us?
Okay, so pulling up from the journal here to see what. So we left off with ending for a new beginning. There we are then. So we get notification of an issue going on with the Alamegan resistance.
You forgot the most important part already. We get
okay,
accosted
right.
and groped by Tataru and a gang of thugs.
So yes, first off,
Yay!
Tataru drags us off to Arena's House of Splendors at the Diamond Forge with a whole bunch of craftsmen measure us. I'm sure I don't know why they would be doing that at all.
It was just it was a birthday present for me.
A couple of them have very interesting remarks to make about our measurements. So
They want an anatomically correct love doll.
Oh God, no.
So anyway, after getting measured by the Diamond Forge, purveyors of fine armor for reasons I'm sure I can't guess, a messenger arrives from Garabania. Is it Garabania or Arbania? I think Arbania. Anyways, notifying us that the Alamegan resistance has started off on some plans that are going to drag Eorzea into conflict with the Garleans. There's been kind of this sort of standoff, neither of them really wanting to do anything with the other, and the Griffin is looking to set off a conflict to drag the Eorzeans into this. Ishgard goes ahead and sends an envoy as part of one of their first official things as part of the Eorzean alliance. We have some politics talk over at Gridania. And as all that's going on, they decide to the Scions decide to send a team to check out what's going on at Baelsar's Wall. Let's see.
Which is technically behind us, but you can't see it right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's foggy and yeah.
A little bit foggy right now.
Can't control the weather.
They're hoping to reach the Alamegan resistance and convince the Griffin to abandon his plan. So part of the Scions go into the secret tunnels beneath Baelsar's Wall to talk to him directly. And we hang back in the Black Shroud, ready to provide support if needed. Fighting breaks out on Baelsar's Wall. The Griffin starts off his assault, and he's gone and placed the Alamegan resistance members in Grand Company uniforms, kind of doing a false flag attack to make it appear that the Eorzeans have started attacking the Empire at Baelsar's Wall, hoping to provoke a response between them and drag the Eorzean alliance into actually fighting against the Garleans. We set out for the wall, trying to stop this. Go through the Baelsar's Wall as a dungeon, which is actually a pretty fun dungeon. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yes.
Arrive at the top of the wall, finding the Griffin. Finding that the Griffin is Ilberd, the old captain of the Crystal Braves, the one who betrayed us so horribly. The one who has been very is strongly fighting for Alamegan freedom, disgusted at all this other stuff, at everyone else's willingness to just accept the way things are. And we find out that though the plan was not actually quite as simple as we had thought, the Alamegan resistance, dressed as Grand Company soldiers, he actually sets off an attack on them as well. We've got a couple of those other Crystal Brave traders wearing Garlean uniforms who alert the Garleans, send out war robots that start striking them down.
Yeah, he basically ends up using his own people to do his plan, which...
Yep. So that one is to raise it to a fever pitch of fear, of anger, of desperation, and to summon all that raw emotion, that raw desire, in order to summon a primal.
Yep. I mean,
Uh,
he also brings out two other pieces to help fuel this fever pitched fire, and that would be Nidhogg's eyes.
Yep, we remember that we did see them being handed over to the Griffin in a cutscene previously, and now we see what he's actually doing with them. He's using them as the raw source of ether for this summoning.
And he sacrifices himself, basically, does a reverse swan dive. And
that was a rather chilling scene, watching him plummet with the sheer,
and then
like,
the Cthulhu.
The exhilarated madness and that sound effect. Ugh.
Cthulhu.
Yeah. But all of that raw release of aether and of desire and emotion starting to create a primal. We don't know a whole lot about the nature of it, other than that he says that it's one even more terrible than the Dreadworm Bahamut. Beyond that, we don't really know a lot. But so that huge massive energy is hovering in midair, starting to take shape. The Scions are there trying to figure out what to do, and Papa Limo realizing that he knows something that can be done. Yida also knowing about this, not wanting to let it happen because she knows what the spell he's going to cast and what its effect will have. Papa Limo has her insists that Yida cannot stay there. She has other things to do. Has Thancred take her away. Will blast us away if we try to stay with him. That was a rather neat little touch there. Just
I really like that.
Yep. Did we all pick that
option?
His
face as he did it.
It's like, take that, haha. Bye.
Nah, I kind of saw it as more like that's sweet. Get the fuck out of here.
Did anybody actually take the option to just go?
I went ahead and rewatched it and tried that option.
Okay, because I actually chose to try and stay, but getting Hadouken onto the ship, that was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. With the other one, your character makes a very pained expression, but then nods and runs towards the airship. It's kind of this sucks, but okay, fine. And then Papa Limo begins casting. For those of you who remember the end of an Era trailer where Louis Swall was casting that spell to seal Bahamut within that Dalamud-like prison, Papa Limo casts the same spell. And he actually does it successfully. Do we still have... Geez, it's really foggy in here, so it's a little difficult to see it.
You can barely make out the edge circumference
like
of the sphere.
Eclipse.
Yeah, right now it looks very ecliptic, but hopefully it clears up. You probably saw it when earlier, but...
So it's about 3:10 p.m. Eorzean time. 4 p.m. is when the weather changes. So possibly in about 3 minutes, the weather will change and we may be able to see it.
Hopefully it doesn't change to another set of fog.
Yeah. When you do enough fishing, you start to learn a lot of the Eorzean weather changes.
Are you going to become an Eorzean climatologist now?
I totally could.
You're going to retire from this whole Warrior of Light thing and start doing weather for the Eorzean Weather Channel?
Yeah, we already have Skywatchers. I've always liked to fancy my character as a bit of a naturalist who's going around recording all the fish and botany and geology samples that she gathers.
Sorry, anyway.
Anyways, so he goes ahead and creates that what's been referred to as a cocoon of light that seals up the forming primal inside. Unfortunately, the ether required to create that comes at the cost of Papa Limo's life.
Or so he says.
I really actually do kind of feel like they may make this one stick.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know, because the primal wasn't completely formed yet, so they could say the fact that it wasn't finished means that the spell didn't use as much as it would normally.
It was easier to take the encapsulate it and didn't.
But like that would have required Papa Limo to hold some back.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen a body yet.
Yeah. Plus, the staff has been around so many powerful people since then. Chances are it might have absorbed more aether than they thought.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's where we find ourselves with heartbroken Ida, with a giant cocoon of light hanging in the air above Baelsar's wall, with an empire that is definitely not going to be massively freaked out by this, given their already extant concerns about the primal threat. Yeah.
We're in a good spot going into 3.55 and 3.56, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
boy.
also note for those. So those of you who look at the journal, you may notice that the journal will fill in as the events go. There's always a last little bit of the entry that fills in when the quest is complete that I suspect none of you ever go back and look at.
Oh, it looks like it's
No,
clearing
not
up
really.
now.
Yeah, it's 4:02 p.m. and we are changing from fog to fair skies.
Yep,
So we
so
should.
it-
Yep,
Woohoo!
there it is.
Starting to show up there. Now
Yay.
you can see it
Oh yeah,
in all its
yeah. It
spiny
even
glory.
has all the little kind of patterns over the surface of it, just like Dalima did. Hell, the Alligans may have done a Magitech version of the same spell as to create it. At any rate, the very last entry for the journal entry for the final quest of that one notes that for though the fallen thaumaturgist spell has granted the realm some precious respite, the primal summoned by Ilberd will not be contained forever.
So, do we think it's Railgar? Who do we think it is?
I don't know. Like he was said, one of Ilberd's lines was that there was no need for belief when you had emotion, hatred, desperation this pure.
Though
And that is something that's even more horrible than Bahamut.
I know some of the other members of the resistance were crying out to Railgar. So
Yeah.
that's right now probably the leading possibility.
It's possible. The fact that they included that line, I feel like was a way to set up the reasoning for, even though those people may have personally believed in Ralgar, that it didn't have to be Ralgar. That it was like no belief is required. That it doesn't have to be the belief in that deity to have that be. At least I feel like that line was included in order to support that. If they do it, have it be a different one.
Gotcha. Because it would be kind of weird to have one of the 12 be summoned. But it also somewhat makes sense because this is the first quote-unquote human primal.
Yeah.
Everything else has been summoned by beast tribes.
Well, I mean, technically not. We had Shiva.
Yeah.
I suppose
I
you're
was gonna
right.
say.
Yeah. Though, I mean, Shiva was sort of summoned and kind of contained within Ysael. This is like a sort of free-floating one. I keep coming back to there's a lot that we don't actually know about the nature of primals, and we are in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
We are making a lot of guesses based on what fragments we have, and we are missing a lot of info.
I mean, using both the powers of the Nidhogg Eye means it's got to be something really powerful.
Yep, that's a lot of ether right there.
Mm-hmm.
It only took one to empower Thordan to become King Thordan.
Actually, it was both, wasn't it? Because he had the armor and the shield, and the sword.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not sure now.
So he had both at the time. He didn't switch until he had both eyes.
Oh, you're right, because they had the one that was in the Ark, and then... Yeah, I think you're right.
And then the other one was held by Estinian. So they needed both. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it leaves a lot of speculation moving forward in the storyline with 3.55 and 3.56 looming in the not so distant future. Are we going to find out who the primal is? Are we going to get? They showed Nail in the trailer, but we didn't see him at all in the storyline. So I'm assuming Nail's going to be coming in the next storyline, and we're going to then get introduced to Omega.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a flashback to... I don't know. But I'm just thinking about Stormblood and sort of the... before I just had the, okay, we're going to travel there to help out the Resistance. But I was kind of expecting a little bit of status quo in Eorzean, just, hey, we're moving to this new area. And now it's like, no, we're being set up for the conflict to actually get heightened, for the Empire to say, yeah, you know what? Just like keeping them hemmed in with this wall, that's not really an option anymore. Those savages have become too dangerous.
So
Well, especially with that giant hole in that rock that looks suspiciously like the laser beam from Omega. Yeah, the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of stuff to look forward to with that. But like I said, I wasn't, thinking about it, I wasn't expecting that it was going to be Papalymo that was going to die necessarily. Though, I mean, it makes sense with the fact that he asked to hold on to Tup Samadhi. But I didn't realize that he knew the spell that Louisoix knew.
His finest pupil.
Mm-hmm.
Just shows how smart the little bugger was.
I kind of had a suspicion because looking at the patch notes.
Yeah, the forever fence thing.
Yeah, they got a portrait of them. So that kind of gave it away.
Oh, the ones of Papalymo and Ida, you mean?
Yes. Yep.
And given
So-
the upcoming thing, it seemed less likely that it would be Ida.
Yeah. Someone's gonna die.
Yeah, we don't get pictures of people that are living a lot of the time.
We have Sid.
Well,
we have Merlib.
Well, we've got the three leaders, but it's because they're the leaders,
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we didn't get Harshifon until after he died.
For some reason, we got Sid.
Well, because Sid's awesome.
Well, yeah. But he also has a very tiny portrait.
And we got
which is kinda sad.
Louisoix, don't we?
Yeah.
We've got Hildebrand.
And Nashu, but that's just because they're Hildebrand and Nashu.
Well, yeah. I wish their portrait was bigger.
I guess
but-
technically Hildebrand's dead because he's a zombie.
Gentleman Zombie Zomberbrand, thank you.
All right. Anyway, so aside from that, we had a little bit of a little more closure to the Warring Triad. Another big twist was thrown into that storyline. Did you guys enjoy that one at all?
That one was interesting. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the fact that this time we get a little bit of we learn that Unakalhai is actually basically an Asian from the Void, what we call the Void.
He's not quite an Asian.
Well,
I mean, he's more akin to the Warriors of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no, the backstory of that is...
He's actually the pupil of, what's his name?
Of Elidibus, but he himself is not an
yes.
Asian.
No, well...
Elidibus.
I suppose, yeah, if you want to say Asian being a full-fledged, like, member of the Scion, an Asian is basically the Scions and Asians are... You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, just more...
Words.
Yeah, I thought more in the sense of, like, hey, these beings that kind of exist and use the crystals of darkness and all that.
Well, he's from that world. The Void,
right, but
what we call the Void.
The Asians weren't from that world, though.
Yes,
were they?
they
don't
were.
think they were.
Yes. Elidibus is from that world. Because it made it sound like he was actually striving to become one of them, but never got the chance to try and save his world. But some of the Asians want all darkness now, and then people like Elidibus, they still want a balance because they know that if it gets too dark, it's going to be bad. If it gets to be too light, it's going to be bad too.
Yeah, that's not quite what's going on. The Asians want to revive Zodiark. They have different things about that, but they all want to do that. And in order to do that, they want to go ahead and smash the barriers between each of the reflection worlds, collapse them back into the source, bring back together all of Zodiark's Aether, and use that to revive him.
It doesn't seem like that's what Elidibus wants to do, though.
Well, I mean, I think he still wants to revive Zodiark. He just maybe has a different way of going about it.
And it's a slightly confusing, I suppose, storyline. But I mean, at least we learn where he's from. Mm-hmm. Though it's interesting how he ends up getting to this world in a corporeal form. If you look at the Warriors of Darkness, they're really... Maybe, is he dead too?
He might be. I mean, he had to I mean, like, looking at that journal entry again, where again you have the last entry when you complete the quest, it describes about how his spirit was snatched into the safety of the rift by his present master. So I think it may be something similar where, I mean, given what happened to his world, he probably was going to die anyways.
But did he move in the same way as the Warriors of Darkness, or is he more akin to the way it was with the Ascians?
I think it's more akin to the Warriors of Darkness. The description, the fact that he was aided by an Ascian, I think it's similar.
Okay. But he was a warrior of light that never got to be, is kind of how it was described a little bit.
Yeah. That if pretty much stuff happened when he was too young.
Yes.
He would have been a warrior of light, but the timing ended up being wrong.
Yep. So, and then when he discovered the plot of what's going on in this world, he had to try and do something to help out and try and stop the warring triad. So we get to Azizla. We go to the center big ship there, and we go where we normally go to get these quests. And who do we discover as normal? We've got Regula waiting for us. And this time, he's not trying to stop us. He's asking for help, basically.
Yeah, given the whole comparison of the Warring Triad and all the stuff really around it and the Empire and this to Final Fantasy VI, he's kind of the General Leo of this, isn't he?
Where he kind of does what needs to be done.
Yeah, he is at core like an honorable person who's trying to accomplish stuff. He actually has the intention to abandon the use of the Warring Triad because they're too dangerous, because of all these other things where it's like, yes, there's this power, but there's also this really horrific risk that everything will run amok and destroy it, and that's not what he wants.
Well, he's more the fact that he doesn't want to use it because the technology is flawed.
Right.
He still wants to try and find the use for their power, but he can't use the technology that they're using because it doesn't work. It's breaking down. Well, if you're 5,000 years old, you're going to start breaking down too.
Yeah, like Allegan over engineering. It's a miracle it lasted that long.
Right. Anyway, Zervan is waking up from his slumber now with all the crap that's been going on with the last two, and he needs our help in order to try and save his men. Who are being controlled potentially by Zervan's influence at this point. So we need to go in and help him.
Bitch.
It is. And we're basically immune to that, as is Unokalhai and Kryl, I believe, as well.
Yep, because we all got the echo.
We agree that we will offer our aid because it is in everybody's best interest. So we go in there, we start to destroy the pillars that are feeding Aether to Zervan, and unfortunately Unokalhai has a bit of a, shall we say, he has a moment of weakness, where he doesn't believe in himself and he hesitates.
Also, I mean, like, he's still a kid. Like, it's a freaky situation. I also want to mention points to Regula for being the only one without the echo and going in there anyways. It kind of made me think of the Chernobyl reactor and a lot of the people who went in and did the repairs without having adequate protection from the radiation, knowing that this was likely to kill them, but because it needed to be done.
But then when he ends up going in there, he saves Unokalhai from Zervan's blade and ends up taking a massive hit in the side, which ends up being mortal.
He should have popped Living Dead.
Well, is he a Dark Knight?
Not everyone with a two-handed sword is a Dark Knight.
Yeah, some of them are samurais.
He should have popped whatever samurai invincibility ability is.
What if they don't have one?
Well, I'm not saying that he was a samurai, but just trying to trigger some people because it's funny.
Then buff samurai if he doesn't have one.
Create samurai, then buff it.
But no, we actually get a moment where, somebody from the Empire has a human moment. And it's like, wow. We don't just see them as the evil Empire. We see, some of them for, what they actually are. Just, they're like us. Just, they're trying to achieve something, but just a different way.
Yeah. There's a reason that some people like to unite under the banner Gaius was right.
Well, he wasn't exactly wrong.
Yeah. And the other thing that comes to mind is there's a card game I played, some of you may know of, called Netrunner. It's set in a cyberpunk future involving like a sort of a hacking thing between corporations and and runners, kind of hacker types. But there's one card with a quote from someone like a corporate troubleshooter specialist that's where she says, "Corporations are made up of people. It would be insane to think that they're all good or all evil. Like the Empire is also made up of people.
That's true.
They're not going to be all evil or all good. They're going to be people who want to get things done. And some of them are going to be terrible, and some of them are going to be trying to do the best they can." And it is good to keep that in mind and to be reminded of that from time to time.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm glad that they went there with the storyline, because it gave another feeling that it's just not black and white, good versus evil. There are lots of shades of gray within humanity, and it was nice to have that little reminder even in a video game.
Yep, job's got to get done.
So anyway, he dies, and we go in and we take down Zervan, aka the Cake Topper. Well,
it was a pretty cool fight, though.
Yeah, I've only done normal, but yes, it was a good fight. I enjoyed it the one time I've done it, and then we get the exposition from Unakahai about where he's from, and all that good stuff that we talked about already. So,
and then he joins the Scions.
Then he is a Scion, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to confuse people that don't do the side missions.
Well, then they just need to do the side missions and not skip the cutscenes.
I don't skip every cutscene, just in the Scholasticate.
Just when it
political intrigues.
But no,
No, it's fine. I'm only going to give you so much crap about that.
Yeah, like every day.
5 years.
Yeah.
Next Fan Fest, I'm going to have a black eye from Seyrr.
No.
No, Sarah's just going to lock you in the room and put it on repeat.
Oh, God.
Exactly. You know that scene from A Clockwork Orange with the guy strapped in with his eyes held open?
So, folks, remember, if you're walking down the hallway next Fan Fest and you hear someone screaming, "Oh, God, help me!" Ah!
Walk away slowly.
Me. No, just
walk away slowly and let it happen.
No, don't let it happen.
You'll get eye drops. It'll be fine.
Who's going to give me the eye drops?
Me?
You're okay.
I have to make sure you don't escape. God, it's like you've never tied someone up and made them watch cutscenes before.
And you have?
I would like to invoke the Fifth Amendment at this time.
We're learning so much about Seyrr today, aren't we, kids?
The more you know.
All right. So it was. I have a feeling that we're not quite done with the Warring Triad, though. I have a feeling there's something else yet that they're going to finish out in 3.55.
I was expecting some sort of Kafka-esque moment, to be honest. When someone sort of absorbs all three.
It's not out of the realm of possibility yet.
I don't know.
Like I said, we could still get something more out of this. I'm not not fully ready to close the door yet on this particular story. So
it does feel like, hey, there was room for a little bit more, but I don't know.
We'll see. Like I said, I have a feeling that we'll have a little bit of something with it, but that's just my guess.
I don't think we'll get anything until Stormblood.
But then it's going to be something totally different at that point.
Well, our main story is linking up to Stormblood, so I expect the side story to keep going, maybe.
I think we're going to get totally different ones. I mean, because the primal quests that we got in 2.0 had nothing to do with 3.0.
Yeah.
It's totally different stuff, so because it's totally different sets of primals.
I could see some way for it to be linked, even if it's not the main story, but just like a little bit to the side again.
Though it may be
But-
led by Unokalhai.
Yeah. I don't expect it to be primal based. I expect like a little trial where he's using all three, but not actually primals.
Or maybe Unokalhai will show up and he'll have different dialogue if you did the Warring Triad quests.
Well, I mean, if you remember, all the primals in 2.0 were handed out by Urianger, and in 3.0 it was Unokalhai. So it might be something actually totally new in 4.0.
That will start with a U and be difficult to pronounce.
Unga bunga.
Maybe they'll
Difficult.
fuse.
It's going to be Captain Caveman.
Captain.
Captain Caveman!
I'm going to pretend I know what you're talking about and just keep
Yeah,
let's
same
move
here.
it.
Sarah, let's just go stand over there.
Hey, I remember that show. It was amazing.
And Chili is young. Well, Chili is... He's 30
Younger
now.
than
so
me.
Yeah.
Are you? How old are you, Chili?
He just turned
30.
He just turned
No,
30.
you're not.
Yes,
Yeah.
he just turned
No,
30
you're
this year.
not.
Yeah, I turned 30 last
I
month.
thought you were younger than me.
Sarah, are you in your
I'm still the
30s?
baby of the group.
Yes.
Okay, so
Early to mid 30s.
So you're just barely younger than I am. You should know about Captain Caveman.
No?
Are you just saying that?
I actually don't know about it. I'm looking this up now.
Seriously, Captain Caveman was amazing.
I have no idea what it is.
It's
90 kid.
apparently Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels was a Saturday morning cartoon that aired on ABC from 1977 to 1980. It went off the air before I was born.
It went up the air before I was born, and I still remember it.
Oh, that guy. Wasn't he like in the funny pages or something?
I don't think Captain Caveman ever was, but he was in syndication afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, that would do it. But no, that was just one I don't think I ever saw.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
plenty of others, but not that one.
Because there was a redo of Captain Caveman and
He was
Son.
running around with some surprisingly sassy girls.
No, there was an ant. They brought him back with his son. So
Why is he hanging out with a bunch of teenagers?
Teen Angels, thank you. I don't want to think about what that means.
anyway, we should keep moving on.
I'm scared.
So the other one that we're going to spoil for sure is the Shadows of Mach.
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 Gotta get that one.
Clear your throat for
Okay,
that
not
one.
choking. Not choking.
Well, we are doing 50 Shades of Seyrr, I guess, but
Oh,
I
no.
object to that on so many levels.
Oh, hey, I think we just found the name of the episode. Great.
50
Oh my
Shades
god,
of
I
Seyrr.
hate you both so much.
That's
there.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Major.
That is amazing. It's perfect. But no, so since
Also, yes, everyone in the chat who inspired them, I hate you too.
We
You
love
have
you all.
Personal hate from me.
we are doting
It's
all
okay.
over you. Mwah.
I love you all.
You're not
I
doting.
platonically like you all,
though. Anyway,
but I'll say I love you just for the views.
so
I love you.
we've got the Shadows of Mach. We go to what's it called again?
Dun Sky?
Dune Sky. Thank you.
Dune Sky.
Why couldn't I remember it? I wanted to keep saying Weeping City, but no, it wasn't. Mahachmi.
Luhachtreth?
Yes.
So we go to Dune Sky. We jump on this giant penis-shaped airship.
How come everything has to be dicks with you, Klaus?
Well, does it not look like a giant phallic airship?
You look like a giant phallic airship.
I do not.
Yeah.
I'd take that as a compliment, to be honest.
Never mind. I was going to say something else, but we'll keep moving on. Before we get on this giant penis mobile, we go back to the Red Bills floating air fortress, and we talk about what's going on with everything with Diablos and with the hammer
Ketchy's-
and all that fun stuff.
Ketchy's been reading has been reading a book and is trying to figure out what's happening.
Where
and
everybody
she
went to, and he thinks he found where this floating city that the Mach were supposed to go to on the Void Ark, and he thinks he found the location. So it's like, well, we should maybe go check that out. But before we can set off, we are visited by none other than Diablos, who is trying to take the stone away from us. That's in a hammer for some reason. Wasn't it just like some green orb that we took?
No, like there's a scene, one of the cutscenes where Ketchi is using the null stone, and it is in fact that little staff with the block on the end of it.
Okay, what was the green orb thing that I'm thinking of then?
I think that might have been what it was being stored in.
Oh, okay. Well, I just remembered the green orb from Weeping City, but so that's why I was like, when did they put it into a hammer? Because
Klaus, don't you know? Klaus, don't you know it's hammer time?
Stop. Hammer time.
It's when
Hammer time.
Here, I thought you were going for the hammer is my penis.
I was gonna say
And
it's when
it came
Cena
back
made.
to dicks.
It wasn't me
Get
this
it?
time.
It came back to dicks. God damn it! Laugh at my jokes.
Maybe if you repeat it like 5 more times, someone will laugh the fit.
Remember, it came. What, I don't
Oh, it
remember what I
came.
said now. Something about ejaculation and penises and dicks and flaccid. I don't know.
So, anyways, Dun Sky.
Dun Sky.
I want to say my comment. It's,
Why?
It's
Just kidding. Go ahead.
because Cena wanted to make a cameo from Pharmacy 9. Remember the guy with the hammer in 9?
No.
Oh yeah, Senna.
Cena. Yeah, he wanted to make a cameo.
That was a little bit obscure there.
Yeah, a little bit. You're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway, we get visited by Diablos, who tries to come take the Null Stone, and does, and so now we're getting our asses kicked, and then we're saved at the last minute by a return of another captain of the rival faction, Tits McGee. I mean, what's her name?
Tits McGee.
Not what's her name really? I forget it.
Sarah, what's her name?
God, Radlia, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Radlia.
I'm gonna blame Aniro and LBR for getting Tits McGee stuck in my head for her forever now.
I mean, she does feature them rather prominently.
Yes.
As any Highlander woman would.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, I mean, when she first came in like that, it's like, oh my God, it's Tits McGee. Did anybody else think that too?
no.
No?
Okay, I guess that's just me.
I honestly thought, oh my God, it's Boob McBooberson.
Bobby McBooberson.
Booby McBooberson.
Well, same difference.
All I
then.
thought was, oh no, it's you, that person. Who were you again?
Well, anyway,
It's like the end of The Simpsons, the episode where Homer changed his name, where he had all those alternate names for Marge, like Hootie McBoob or Busty St. Clair. I always liked Busty St. Clair. It sounds vaguely classy.
It does.
But anyway, the question that I have on this is, where the hell did she get a fleet so fast?
Rowena.
She had favors.
Rowena.
Lots of favors.
There's a similar ship parked at Ishgard at Camp Cloudtop, and they actually remark on how it was going to be the newest weapon to defend them against the Horde, except then you made the entire war unnecessary.
So she stole it?
Probably.
It sounded like she might have maybe actually bought it from them at a really cheap price.
But I don't
As
need
in
it,
free
so
because she stole it?
5-finger discount.
There you go.
Let me go ahead and hang on. I'm looking up the script.
Anyway, so she offers to take us because the other guy broke his arm, and it was like, well, you should stay back and try and heal because, you know, we don't want you to hurt yourself any worse or die. So he's like all butthurt because we don't want him to go with.
His E-peen got smashed.
And his arm.
And his arm.
And his arm pretty bad.
But mainly his E-peen.
Or his ego.
His
ego
we gotta
peen?
make everything about dicks.
Okay.
Don't you remember?
So we jump on the giant flying penis.
Perfect. We're back on track.
All right. And we're on our way into Dune Sky, and we encounter this giant flying black sperm. How's that? We encounter the doom gaze, death gaze.
I mean, like that's classic Final Fantasy there.
No,
and
it
I
is.
thought it was really awesome that they managed to get that in.
No,
there.
I fully agree. It's nice to see, the death gaze come back like that. And the fact that they started out the battle with something where you can fall off was pretty amazing.
Oh, hang on. I found the I found the text.
Okay.
She said, "I acquired." Acquired is in emphasis, so I'm guessing stole.
Air
Our splendid
quotes.
flagship after the Ishgardians saw fit to abandon her. I hear she was an attempt to match the airborne agility of their dragon enemies, but the vessel never did live up to expectations.
Like I said, she stole it.
Yeah, but stole it from people who had abandoned it, it looks like.
Well, so she made it sound.
Yeah. And they took a lot of their dragon hunting things off of it, instead went for structural reinforcements and made it a flying fortress. Which is probably why it can stand up to all the stuff that Doomgaze does to it.
Yeah, well, except for the railings. They didn't reinforce those, apparently.
Railings get in the way. Railings get in the way when you're going to do an epic leap off onto your target.
Well, they're just fine. I mean, because you use them as a stepping stone. You jump up onto them and you leap off of them. So it adds for the dramatic flair. Come on, don't you know anything?
The Death Star didn't have railings, so at least we've got some.
The Death
The
Star
Death
blew
was
up.
a circle.
Anyway, so we fight Death Gaze, Doom Gaze, whatever Gaze on there. Half the people die multiple times because they don't understand mechanics. And
Hey, I died a
Sounds
few
like you're
times
going
on
with
that.
the wrong people.
No,
I died
actually,
a few times on that too. It's like if no one explains it, it's not. Some parts were not super fast to pick up.
I'm gonna be slightly tongue in cheek about it, but I really, really, really did enjoy the all of the fights. I thought they were just the right amount of difficulty. They had a lot of good, interesting mechanics to learn, and like I said, it's not overly difficult, but it's just understanding. Rate awareness was the biggest thing.
Once I understood what was going on, it was actually pretty fun.
And most of my runs lately have been pretty good in there. I haven't had too many issues. I mean, I think we only wiped once the last 2 times we've run the damn thing. So people are learning it pretty well. Even if the DPS isn't the greatest on some of them, it's the fact that people are understanding the mechanics is really, really heartening to me. But like I said, the first day I ran it, we talked about this on the last show. We literally had 5 minutes left in there, and it's a 2-hour dungeon.
Yeah, the only one I still struggle with is Fernandad.
That is a tough fight. I mean, well, some people just don't understand.
That's the gesture guy, right?
Yeah.
I
gesture
have
guy with
problems on that one
Atomoses.
too.
Yeah, people don't understand
the fun with Atomos.
They don't understand the Atomos mechanics. They don't.
That was another one that took me a bit to pick up.
Some people don't.
I still don't understand them. Please explain them to me.
I'll explain them once we get to that point. Anyway, so we get off of there. We run through, get to very little trash, and then we hit Ferdiad. So there we are.
Yeah.
No, I that's the other thing I like about this dungeon. There isn't a lot of trash. There's that first 2 sets of trash, like the crystals, where the first group, if you don't DPS them all down, you're a bunch of scrubs. No, not really, but you should really be able to DPS those 3 crystals down before they spawn into another monsters. The second set, you're going to get some spawns because there's 4 crystals, 2 eyes, and then a dragon pops in there. So,
yeah.
But that's all the trash. Really.
Yeah,
that's all
that
the
was
trash.
A surprisingly small amount of trash.
So we go through that trash, then we hit Ferdiad, who is now in hollow form because we kicked his ass in Amdapor or Tamtara.
No, it was Amdapor Keep, wasn't it?
No,
Amdapor Keep hard
was it
mode.
Amdapor Keep hard mode? Yeah, okay. Yeah, in Amdapor Keep hard mode, we kicked his ass, and now he's the hollow version of him, and he's gotten quite a bit tougher. He now is able to summon little mini jesters as well as atomoses. Atomi.
Yeah.
What's the plural for atomos?
Atomic. I have no idea.
Thomas's.
Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus?
Yes, he summons multiple copies of Mr. Tumnus.
I didn't realize we
So
went into a
anyways,
wardrobe.
Exactly.
For what it's worth, Luna, the way that mechanic works is, you might have noticed when he's preparing a beam to fire at the Atomoses, it'll have like either a little sort of loopy shape or a straight shot shape.
Mm-hmm.
He fires each of those at an Atomos. It comes out of the matching Atomos in that shape. So if he fires the donut at the lighter colored Atomos, the other lighter one is going to have a donut fire around it.
And you want to stand on that.
Right.
Because the
And so-
double donut shaped ones will do an AoE that goes outside of a certain area.
They make a donut with a safe spot at the center.
And the other one makes a large scale AoE, so you want to be away from it. It's
So it's mostly he shows what he's going to fire at each one. You look at what shape it is, and it will appear at the corresponding one.
Exactly.
And so from those, you can figure out, okay, these are the parts of the battlefield that are about to be blasted. But you need to figure it out before he actually does the firing.
Okay.
Yes.
I think
because you don't have a ton of time to figure it out.
Yeah.
So you get through that fight, and then you go and you fight. Is it the Handmaiden next? Real quick mini boss, and then
Which
you
does have a unique drop, by the way.
Yep,
Yeah.
you have a chance to get the blood sword, which is pretty cool. Doesn't always drop though. It does not always drop.
I've
Also,
run
you can
about
just buy it from the gold saucer if you really want.
I've run about 15 times. I've only seen it once.
I saw it 2 of the 3 times I ran it.
It's like
Really?
10k MGP.
And then you go and fight the Void Queen, Skathach, Kazuntite, something like that.
How do you say her name, Seyrr?
This one I could never get right. Hang on.
Skathach, I think.
Future waifu?
Skahak.
Future waifu.
Future.
Current waifu.
Anyway, you fight Lolita Harlequin. And that is a battle.
Skathach is the pronunciation I have just checked.
Skathach?
Thank you, remix.
Skathach.
Skathach.
Yeah, like in the original mythology, she was actually a warrior who trained Kuklin in the arts of war. So having her as the Lolita Gothic princess felt a little weird.
Remix says Skofak.
Skathach. Anyway.
Skofak.
I mean, really, I'm not producing enough phlegm, so there's probably no way I'm saying this properly.
Right? Sorry for your ears, people. So we fight Lolly Quinn, and people need to realize they need to separate the ad. When the guy drops down, you need to separate those two, otherwise he gets a buff, and she gets a buff, and then the raid wipes. Other
The
than that,
mechanics are hard clouds.
Also, you want to look at the thing that links to you, I think.
yes, when you got the
Yes.
little hand that's linked to you, you look at it. You don't run away from it. You look at it. And you can pay attention to where the pieces of her scarf are, so you don't get hit by the big AoEs that go out from those little conals. A lot of people get hit by stuff, just pay attention and you'll be fine.
Honestly, I love the aesthetic of that fight, though. Like, I am all about that. Like, with the weird little stitched up puppets around and...
You really
The
like
first time-
the stained glass hearts?
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Like, the colorful, gothic type of, like, looking... Just...
It felt very
It brings
Kingdom
me back
Hearts
to my
me.
childhood. Yeah, very Kingdom Heart-ish.
I mean, if Kingdom Hearts meets what is it? Dark Souls.
Well, like if,
Honestly, it feels more kind of Nightmare Before Christmas-ish
Mm-hmm.
meets Kingdom Hearts.
Meets
They've done.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Meets
I
Alice in
love
Wonderland.
that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, I don't get me wrong. The aesthetic of the entire dungeon was really interesting. It wasn't quite as subdued and bleak as Weeping City was for a good chunk of it. It was very in its own way vibrant, but and very in other ways surreal. But anyway, so we beat Skothic. And then we end up fighting, no surprise, Diablos. And it's a two-part
my god,
fight.
what a twist!
Yeah, he wasn't there to serve his queen. He was there to revive the queen and gank her power.
Yeah, he was totally going to take it over for himself and be it, try and be a supreme overlord of everything.
Yeah, the bit where you have like the power beams pushing back and forth, I was actually just like getting super tense and worried because I was like, come on, keep damaging it. Come on. I had no idea what was actually going to happen.
Chile was yelling, Kamehameha!
Yes, I was. I also then shout out, oh no, I'm losing! Kaioken times 3!
It was like Goku versus Frieza, Spirit Bomb versus Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you beat him, and then he ganks her power anyway, even though you beat her. And then you fight Diablos Hollow with the powers of both of them, which is really messed up. His wings get all messed up.
Hello, it's Diablos.
Hello, is it Diablos you're looking for?
Hello.
And then you go back after you beat Diablos Hollow.
One little thing. If you ever notice, he'll actually start killing himself after about 40%.
Well,
Really?
he gets a buff he does more damage, but he also receives more damage and starts taking damage.
He doesn't really receive more damage. He damages himself.
Okay, but I mean, the amount of damage that he puts out, I mean, if your healers aren't on point, you will still wipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
we had the healers running around because most of us were dead on one run, and he just killed himself.
so he just healed up and he still died, huh?
Yeah. He has himself. Yeah.
Okay, I guess that
deleted
explains the
himself.
one run. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then as he's dying, he still isn't fully dead after you beat him. He tries to steal the power of the Nullstone again, but then we're basically we are saved by none other than the guy whose name we can't think of at this point.
Pirate Man.
The leader of the Red Bills. Really bad at names right now. I'm sorry. I've always been
The
bad
Red
at
Bull
names.
Man.
Leopard.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
He comes in. He sacrifices his little mana clipper, and and saves the day. Tosses the Nullstone to Katshi, who basically makes Diablos his bitch and destroys the hell out of him. So, pretty cool scene, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a little bit of we get a little backstory then on why the ship meant so much to him and who the lady in the picture was. Ends up being his adoptive mother, a highborn Ishgardian lady, and he named his little mana clipper after her, and that's why he's all sad that it got all blowed up.
Man, we have a lot of highborn Ishgardians who end up becoming pirates.
Well, they got bored.
Because you've got him and you've got Carvalane and Limsalominsa. The Gorgane holdings out in Kurthus West, that's his family's holdings. He was the heir of the family, got lost on a sea voyage, and ended up being taken in Limsalominsa and is now one of their pirate captains.
Yay.
The more you
So,
know.
Good job, Ishgard. You sure do create a lot of pirates.
Yes.
To be fair, it's probably safer than fighting dragons.
That's true.
Is this true?
Probably.
So yeah, that was that story. It had decent closure in my opinion, but it could have been a little stronger. It wasn't quite as good as the Triad or the main scenario in my opinion, but it was nice to get some decent closure on it and kick Diablos' ass.
Plus, you get a cool scarf.
Yep, which I am
That I'm
wearing
wearing.
actually.
I've
you're
got
No,
wearing
screw
it.
you. I'm wearing it.
I'm wearing
I'm
it.
wearing.
No, I'm wearing it.
I'm wearing it
not
too.
wearing it.
Well, Chili's a
You
scrub.
can't wear my scarf. I'm wearing my scarf.
I
we
glamored
both-
it first.
Yeah, but it's not even visible under your clothes.
Yeah, right?
Yes, it is. You can see it. You can see the neck piece there.
Hold on, let me squint.
That's the neck piece of your body armor.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's the neck piece. Yes, it
It
is.
does- It does not have the red and black striping.
Take.
Are you
Yes.
okay. Well,
Like compared to me and Luna.
okay, but I am wearing it.
Yeah, well, we're
So
showing
there.
it off.
I would switch to change it, but then it would screw up the show, so I'm not going to do that.
Strip, strip, strip.
Quiet you. I vote for skipping the Scholastic and Hildebrand because those are ones that people don't always do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I haven't
My
done
best.
Hildebrand yet personally because
Shame on you.
I'm saving
Yeah,
that
tell me to
one.
do Hildebrand.
I'm saving it for a rainy day.
It's snowing here, so
We can talk about them next time.
Sometime.
At some point.
Scholastic, I mean, I did do that one. I read every cutscene and watched every scene, Seyrr.
I will say for those doing the Hildebrand one, anytime you get an item, you should read its description. Also, you should just read all the journal entries. The journal entries are so great. They are written in the voice of your character, and the amount of snark and sarcasm that starts to show up in them is just so beautiful. Your character is so done with this shit.
All right. We'll kind of go over the last couple of them here then. Beast Tribe.
Can
ahead.
I just quote this from the journal? Where is it?
Is it a spoiler?
Not especially.
Okay.
But first, it must needs rub the oil on the inspector's skin, or else it gets the suplex.
I love Hildebrand.
Yes.
Or where was it? So I think this was actually from the previous update, but from the bit, because you did the bit where you're out in the hinterlands and committing terrible, terrible acts to old people, right?
Yeah.
Nope. I haven't done 3.4 or 3.5s. I'm saving them both.
Yes.
But where are we?
Anyway, moving on.
And so you make ready to oblige, having not lost sight of your goal to obtain his armor, even if the methods it seems you must now employ are quite unlike any you could have ever imagined, or perhaps would wish to.
Oh, I remember that scene.
Slayer of
Yeah.
God, Slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, masseuse of the elderly. Yet a single vigorous session will not serve to satisfy Orland. Oh no! Mustering every ounce of your courage, you raise up your tired hands and dive once more into the fray.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
Eorzea needs an adult to protect it from you. Like, you read the journal and it points out just how many terrible, horrible things you are casually doing.
We're a freaking menace to society.
A later entry for the same thing. Slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, stealer of pants. In what may well be the darkest chapter of your life.
Stealing pants. That's one of the first things I did in the game. I mean,
steal a
who
pantsuit.
knows?
Yeah, no, like,
Console.
especially for Hildebrand Quest and for some of the others, read those journal entries and see just how much they snark about the totally terrible things you do. It's great.
So how about them beast tribes? Yeah,
I really liked the Beast Tribe quest.
it was short. Over.
It was cute.
I mean, I was hoping for a little bit more, but yeah, it was like we talked about. It was basically you go here, you watch a cutscene, which good cutscenes, good story.
Yeah.
But then you go there, you watch another cutscene. You go to this other place, you watch another cutscene. That's all you do.
I mean, it was similar to the combined quest for the A Realm Reborn Beast Tribes.
I thought
The
there was
difference
more to
being
that
you
one
had-
though, but you're probably right.
Not really. You go to a bunch of places and you end up watching some cutscenes. I think there may have been some brief fights, but not a lot.
Yeah, we really didn't have much of that at all in this. We just, we dance. Now is the
I
time in the
liked it, though.
in the cutscene when we dance.
But we can dance if we want to. We can leave our friends behind. Because if our friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, they're no friends of mine. I say that, but I'm not done it anyway. I haven't even unlocked the NAF yet still.
I think all three of us have the Moonlift dance, so don't we?
Yep, I do. I'm dancing right now.
Well, I know you're doing it. I do think it was cute that we get to basically come up with the dance. Because we show them...
Yeah, we help inspire it.
Yes, we showed them the Moogle dance, and then it basically mixes the Moogle dance with the Sundrop dance, and then we get the Moonlift dance, aka the Drunken Moogle.
Watching the frickin' Vath dance.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get a Vath dance?
Because Vath don't dance.
But if they don't dance, so then they can't be friends of ours?
Hey, they dance. Have you been to the Vath camp? Like, that's one of the touches I like. All of the camps now have little extra touches as a result of it. If you go to the Vath camp, you can see a bunch of Vath doing the Moonlift. It is so adorable.
Yeah, but they didn't have their own dance, is what I'm saying.
Well, they just recently got out of being a hive mind. The arts thing is something they're working on.
Oh, that reminds me. While we're talking about NPCs, if you go to the Gold Saucer, you can see the NPCs from the Void Art missions.
Wait, what?
Kate Sniff and that can sometimes appear in the Gold Saucer.
Really?
Yeah. After a hard day of doing pirate stuff, they want to go and have some fun.
Go spend some monies.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was it was a fun little story. We get revisited by an adversary from the ARR Beast Tribe missions. that stupid man cat, and
I didn't even know who he was, but oh my lord.
Yeah, he first showed up in the Realm Reborn combined Beastman tribe thing. He shows up in a similar state of undress as well.
I don't think it was coral bikinis though at that point, but.
Yeah, it was.
It was? I guess I don't recall.
Oh, yeah.
So what you're saying is that I have to go back and do the ARR Beast Tribe.
And
just more naked man cat.
If
Got
you
it.
do those ones, you can get his mask.
Oh, that's right. That's where that came from.
The eyeball thing?
Yeah, yep, that's where that came from. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get one of your own.
So,
interesting.
So basically, we end up having to save one of the dragons from who he had shot at, and it turned him into a raging lunatic, basically.
Yep.
First he was a grumpy dragon, but now he's just mad.
Well, here's the part that's really messed up. It basically, he's got him all crazy and angry, made him go up to Az's Law just so he could put a Neuralink collar on him and make him into a pet for a Garlean soldier.
Right.
That was basically the whole gist of the story.
Yep.
Yes, Major, Luna will skip the cutscenes.
I mean, like, it is somewhat similar to the Realm Reborn one, and then you have someone who wants to, like, exploit or otherwise take control of the Beastmen races for personal gain, and you end up standing against them.
Okay.
So, I mean, just in terms of the basic idea, it's pretty similar. You have, because in the previous one, it was...
You gotta remember, this was 2 years ago. It's hard for me to remember that far back.
I think they had been using some of the Sylph bodies. What was it? This was a while ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cute. You get this awesome dance, and it was fun. So I think if you have all of your beast tribes up to the requisite rank, do it.
I found it. It was the terrible person involved wanted to raise an army of undead beastmen.
Lovely.
Oh.
Yep.
And then the last one, quick talk about Somal hard mode. Was there a story to that other than Lava Scorpion got mad and we had to go kick his ass?
There's not really a lot of story. It's mostly, hey, you cleared out Somal without the dragon presence. Various natural things moved in. Mind clearing that out?
Yeah.
But it's more just a general excuse to have the dungeon exist.
Yeah, and to have Lord Lava Scorpion, Chili.
Praise be, Lord Lava Scorpion. Praise be.
I was not impressed.
No.
I'm slightly worried about the fact that we're knocking out that many supports deep within the mountain.
Right? Surprised it's not just falling in on itself. So yeah, that was a lot of the storylines from 3.5. We hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of an interesting discussion that we had today, I thought.
I had forgotten just how much stuff happened.
Yeah, I mean, I watch every cutscene, but I don't remember every detail though. So I like going through these sometimes because it gives me an opportunity to kind of remind myself of what actually happened. Though I'm gonna have to admit this, I'm giving a shout out to She Heals I Tank. I listened to their spoiler cast this week, and the way that Pete and Avi described those stories was amazing. So if you guys really enjoy Final Fantasy XIV podcasts, I'm going to give them a huge plug here. Go check them out at She Heals I Tank on Twitter. You can find their podcast, I believe, out at veganpete.com. And their spoiler cast was really funny, so I would go check it out. They put a lot of work into that, I can tell. Gesundheit. All right. So in place of a lore segment this week, Luna wanted to go over something she's been doing quite a bit lately. She's been doing a lot of Palace of the Dead.
A lot of Palace.
She's been using it to level up a lot of characters, haven't you?
Yeah, like I was telling you guys earlier, I leveled up my Black Mage and my Bard, and I'm using it to level up my Lancer, which will soon be a Dragoon.
Luna's doing it right.
So this we're bringing back the How Do I segment with How Do I Palace of the Dead. Luna, please take it away.
Yeah. I know some people are probably going to be like, but we just got this less than a year ago, and why do we need a How Do I on it? I literally have a few friends that don't know what the fuck they're doing in there.
Yeah, just because it's existed for a while doesn't mean people are good at it.
No, exactly. And that's kind of why we're doing it. And oh my lord, there's so many things to go over, but I'm just gonna do it really quick because we've already been going for about 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So let's just do the who, what, where, and why. Palace of the Dead is would you call it like a dungeon crawler? Yeah, I call it a dungeon.
I call it a roguelike.
Oh, yeah, a roguelike dungeon crawler. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
It's basically kind of like a game within Final Fantasy. It's kind of own separate thing, but it follows the lore of Final Fantasy. Basically, Palace of the Dead, you start off with your own separate gear thing from what you're wearing right now. So your eye level or anything doesn't matter in there.
Like, I would frequently get dressed up just in random cute outfits without even needing to worry about glamour, because it won't matter.
No, it literally does not matter. When you are in there, you get a separate arm, an armor slot, an aether. They call it aether pool. I'm not sure behind the lore on that. Seyrr could probably.
The idea is that normal weapons and armor are drained of their power, and so the Pajali are giving you weapons and armor made out of pure ether. So it is ether pooled together.
See, Seyrr can answer lore stuff for me on this because the lore of Palace of the Dead is kind of cool too. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So basically, you have your aether arm and your aether pool armor, and you're probably wondering, how do I level this stuff up? I see people with glowy weapons and whatnot. Within the dungeon, there are 3 different kinds of chests. There's gold ones, which drop items. Palmanders, we'll get to what those are in a few minutes. There's bronze ones, which drop items and how do you pronounce it? Potsherds?
Potsherds.
Yep, potsherds. And then there's the silver chests, which may or may not buff up your aether arms. It's all random. Everything is random.
It is a little more likely the deep. Like, it compares the level of your arm and armor to how deep you are in the palace. So if you're further down, then you're going to have a better chance of leveling up your arm and armor. But just running those early floors over and over will not get you a very strong weapon or armor.
But sadly, there is some grinding to it. So I believe it's to get onto the third section of it. You need like 15 and 15 for your armor.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There are some gates. It's relatively like it's kind of like the minimum eye level thing. Just because you have the minimum one doesn't necessarily mean you'll be strong enough for where people expect you to be.
Mhm.
But you can't go in completely equivalent of naked. You have to grind a little bit to get up to speed.
Yeah, you gotta get good before you can go in deep.
Phrasing.
Yep, I realized what I said as soon as I said it. Thank you.
You just don't want to choke on it.
God damn it, Joey. Oh, but yeah, speaking of choking, if your entire party wapes in Palace the Dead, you're done. Kicks you out. Can't.
Yeah, no
Oh
redos.
my goodness. Yeah, you can't go on. You get kicked out. You restart from the 10 levels. Or okay, I'm really bad at explaining stuff. So I'm not following my notes at all. Basically, you go into Palace Dead 10 level interval. There's 1 through 55 as the first, not 55, 50 as the first section. And then there's 51 through 100 as the second section. You go in there, 10 level intervals. So every 10 levels, you get a little break.
And you fight a boss.
And you fight a boss, yes, at the 10th. The 10th, 20, 30. In the 10s.
At the end of each leg, essentially.
Yeah,
Correct.
basically. And where was it going with this? And basically...
Is the dance distracting you?
Yes, the dance is actually distracting me.
And also the fact that if you do get a wipe in between 51 to 100, you can't enter 100 plus if you're at a fixed party.
Yeah. If you want to go beyond 100, you have to start from 1, and it's as a fixed party.
See, I didn't know that, actually. That's good to know.
You don't have to start from 1, though. You can start from 51.
Okay, I missed that bit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a sort... Anything past 100 is for extreme grind lovers. They've been very clear it's not part of the main story.
Yeah.
I've got to 170 before, but Summoner left the server. So that kind of...
Now you got to start all over.
Yeah, I made it down to 130, but then my group decided that they'd rather go with someone who was like easier to schedule stuff with. I'm a little grumpy about that.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
I got to 60.
Yay!
Well done. You win.
That's very special, Klaus.
Yeah.
Like, the last one is 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
200 is the deepest.
Okay. So if you want to get balls deep, get 200. Got it.
Well, you do get a giant glass sphere.
Yeah.
What?
The crystal pumpkin.
Yeah,
What?
it's like an achievement show-off thing.
You can get some earrings as well.
Oh,
And
okay.
you get a bench to sit on.
Yeah.
And a bench.
So you sit on it.
All the bosses from 101 to 190 level are the same bosses as before.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
Except that
They do.
that 200 boss is pretty tough, I heard.
Oh yeah, that's too tough. I fall down on it all the time.
That's slash sit.
Okay. Anyways,
And I'm not kidding. That's what I've heard. Is the 200th level boss is you sit on the bench
That is correct.
and you win.
And it's kind of a, you made it to this thing, congratulations.
Considering the fact that one of the bosses spams Meteor constantly, that's a nice thing.
What, we go up against Brontosaurus? Is this Diadem all over again?
he's back for revenge. Anyways, let's go on
Sorry.
explaining about Palace the Dead before we get too sidetracked.
Too late.
Where the frick was I?
You were talking about the floors and the pomanders and the items.
Yeah, let's talk
and
about
optional-
Promanders.
Those are kind of fun, aren't they?
Yes, they really are. There's I'd call them 3 separate times. Or 3 separate types. I can't talk. I can't English,
How much
guys.
have you had to drink tonight, Luna?
I had a sweet tea. That's all. There's no alcohol in it.
Wait, sweet tea or / air quotes sweet tea?
Sweet tea.
She had-
Arizona sweet tea.
She had Jeremiah Weed sweet tea.
Oh God, no. But yeah, pomanders are special items that you find in gold chests of Palace of the Dead that give you special abilities that you can only use in Palace of the Dead.
Well, we're supposed to only be able to
there
use
was a
in
bug.
Palace of the Dead.
There was a bug that
Has been fixed.
featured.
Yeah, that they fixed. But there
This
was
isn't a
bug,
Microsoft Windows operating system. It's not a feature.
right? But there was a bug that allowed some people to use pomanders in PvP. But that's cheating, and that's broken, and that's not good.
And it's been fixed, I believe.
And in
it's been-
primals. Someone used them in Zervan.
Oh, well.
Awkward.
Zervan had some damage. Someone was running and they found out Zervan had damage down on him for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
I remember hearing
Weird, man.
Yalta talk about it the first time she went in.
Yep. But yeah, I call it 3 different types. There's buff increases, like you can get damage down, as these guys were just saying, strength up, stuff like that. Very simple, not very fun, but useful pomanders. There's stuff to unlock certain treasure, to increase the amount of treasure that you might get on the next floor, stuff like that. Then the fun ones, the form changes. There's a succubus that you can become, and I mean, you're more powerful as a succubus.
I know. I thought that one was kind of boring, personally.
I like the succubus.
It has utility to it.
I like the one where you change into the
Manticore?
Garlock, the Manticore. Yeah, the Garlock.
Gar-
Oh my god, the Manticore is so
Oh.
satisfying.
That one's OP.
I've had some runs where it's like, you know what? I had a bad day. We got down fairly far. Hey, we've got 3 Manticore Pomanders. I'm just going to rage across the next 3 floors.
Yeah, basically,
Oh,
you can go for at least you can finish at least a floor, sometimes 2.
Yeah, depending how fast you
sometimes
go.
if you get a bigger floor, it can be a little difficult, but
Yeah, but it's
you
still
get to
fun.
rage for a while.
You don't
One
want
hit
them to
kill things.
You don't want them to turn off when you're in the middle of a giant group of mobs, though.
That's
Why
what
not?
you-
That's fun.
That's
But
bad.
if you have a friend on voice chat, you can help direct them to help bring stuff from the other parts of the floor towards
Yeah.
you for
Yeah,
efficient
we'll talk
murder.
about the meta of Palace of the Dead in a little
yeah.
bit.
Good.
there's-
Good. Let your rage flow through you.
There's also one last form, the angel form, which is, I believe, it increases the damage done to undead.
So yeah, it stuns and for most undead, it's a 1-hit kill.
Yeah,
Not all of them, but most.
yeah. The only thing I've seen that used for is the very end boss on floor 100.
You can use it for certain floors as well
Yeah.
that have
Yeah.
undead, but
There's some-
I think 90 to 100 does have some, and 80 to 90 sometimes has some as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's some
so-
sections where it's like several floors that are all undead, and it can
Yeah.
be very nice to get through those quickly.
Yeah, but other than that, it's pretty underwhelming.
Useless. Yeah, it's underwhelming. It's pretty.
It's basically like
but
the Kuribo,
it's
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I
the boss from Lost City Hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always used to read it as Karibo.
But isn't that the boot from Mario?
The most amazing power up ever.
Right?
But probably not relevant to this discussion.
That's what I was confused for. I just had to mention that as well. But at least I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. Anyway, continuing.
Because Kuribo's 2 was the best power up ever.
That was from 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Continuing on. Go ahead, Luna.
Anyways, so that's pretty much for pomanders. There's also a special item that you can get in Palace of the Dead called a Gelmoran potsherd. You get them at the end of the first 50 floors. You get one then. You get one at the floor 100 once you complete that. And they can drop randomly from bronze chests.
Yeah, I've
They're-
only gotten the one from clearing 50, so.
Yep.
They're pretty much just like tokens.
Yep, they're pretty much exactly that. You can exchange them into a person in Quarry Mill for tier 5 materials. There's some minions. There's also a mount
The best mount.
The best mount.
Because Seyrr likes
there-
head.
Is there orchestrion rolls? I don't remember.
There are orchestrion rolls if you
Yeah.
have cleared beyond a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's more after 100 as well.
Oh, interesting. It's like I have
There's
to be...
one at like 150, I think, and then there's one at 200.
Oh, interesting. Well, good to know. But yeah, you basically get those and you can trade them in. I currently have 9. I'm probably gonna get the mount and then
Because that's 10,
knows what?
correct?
yep, that's 10.
Yep.
And the minions are 5?
3.
3? Okay, and each
Yep.
materia is 1.
Yep. Exactly.
Good, I can get a materia. Yay.
Woohoo! But yeah,
Hey, it's still a free crit 5 materia.
Well, I have a ton of
Oscar speed.
void matter, though, so... Maki matter.
yeah.
Well, you gotta
Seyrr,
overmeld all your shit.
Eventually.
I'm gonna shut up, guys. Basically, Seyrr, if you want to give us a TLDR of the lore, basically.
Sure. So, I really like the lore on this one because it's like they've done plenty of stuff where they tied in other Final Fantasies. This is starting to reach into a lot of the other properties. So the first 50 floors had its own story that came out as its own self-contained thing early on, where as you go, you are being watched over by Edda, who is now in kind of this very witchy eye patch garb type thing. And at the 50th floor, you fight Edda. It's kind of a reprise of the fight against against Seyrr in Tamtara Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Complete with that whole like red wedding mechanic, where as certain mechanics fill in the circle a bit more. So I thought it was like, hey, kind of a neat touch for that. And when you complete that one, you're actually able to do a little side quest if you have done Tamtara Hard, where you can provide sort of a little burial memorial for Edda and Seyrr and put their souls at peace. As you go further in the 51 to 100 range, you find a little bit more about the entity that was kind of pulling Edda's strings, convincing her to engage in all this sort of words. I'm bad at words.
Douchebaggery and tomfoolery.
And it's not exactly douchebaggery per se.
I know.
Well, it's in
but
love, isn't it? Because she's trying to bring her back, still trying to bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's a little nuts.
And so that one actually ends up involving what's his name? Obdaleth, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So the Palace of the Dead was actually something that showed up in the Tactics Ogre series. I forget exactly which game, but it was remarkably similar to ours in that you had something that was like over 100 floors, whereas you're delving deeper into it, you're facing all sorts of enemies. You have this necromancer Obdaleth who is trying to revive a lost love of his, and you run into and kill various members of his family. And at the bottom, you have the fight against him, where he's pretty much just like doing all this stuff. Like it just pretty much just kind of mirrors it, sort of taking this thing that's drawn into it. In the 14 version, when you do defeat him, you find some papers of his, which you are encouraged to use the echo on it. The Pajali note that it is clearly not of this world, that Obdaleth somehow came in from another world, so perhaps he crossed over from his world into ours in some way. Eorzea is kind of this really weird dimensional nexus in a lot of ways. It's a little worrisome. But yeah, kind of a fun little callback to that classic story, to that property that a lot of people who've played Final Fantasy and similar games will recognize. So I thought it was really nice that they did that.
Yeah. It was really...
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
And then they have the floors 101 through 200. It is explicitly, there is no story. This is just for people who really want to try something, try the grind to see how far they can get. It actually has leaderboards and the like attached to it.
Yeah, it's
all about the EPing.
Yeah, pretty much breaking rights and all that good junk.
Yep. As a side note, there is an achievement for clearing floors 1 through 50 and floors 1 through 100 solo.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck to all you crazy kids who try it. I hear that Summoner is the ideal one for this.
Warrior could probably do it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, summoners, because there are some enemies that, for instance, like the slimes, if they are not killed fast enough, they will explode for very high damage. A summoner
Mhm.
has the ability of being able to stand back from that.
Well, warrior can self-heal from that.
I
Like
don't know.
it's enough to one shot.
Yeah.
Home gang.
Okay, so now you're sitting at 1. I mean, warrior can do pretty well, but summoner is the ideal for this.
Yeah, I know. I tried to do it on my bard. I got to 30. And that was about all I could do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very
yeah,
tough.
If you guys are looking to go back, if you have friends that are just coming into the game and you want to do something with them, definitely give Palace of the Dead a try. You can level sync with your friends, be on the same level playing field. That's one of the best things about it, that it does give you that equilibrium.
It
What will you,
balances the
Sophia, here?
scales.
It balances the scale. Sorry, I've been running.
Or else
Sophia
it gets the
as
hose
to-
again?
Womp womp.
Oh.
It's also
No,
like
I
Luna's been
actually
using it
had a
for.
friend.
It's good for leveling up the other classes as well. So anyway,
Yes,
Seyrr.
if you
I
want to
actually-
try out a class, definitely take it into Palace of the Dead.
I actually had a friend who came back to the game recently, and running Palace of the Dead has given him some XP for the new jobs that he wanted to try, and it's been a way to just sort of level quickly, do something that doesn't have a lot of startup costs. You can just jump into it super easily.
Yeah, 'cause-
Also, from what I can tell, unless I'm wrong, it uses your rest XP, but you don't actually lose the rest XP
I did not know that. That's pretty sweet.
because you always
Doesn't
get the plus 50% XP, and I never saw my bar go down. So
Nice.
well, maybe it's just at a point where you've got a full bar of it, where so you're not seeing it actually disappear until you actually level.
I've leveled up a few times in it, and I've still had the bar.
Huh. Interesting. Or maybe
Hold
just
on, I'm
that might
trying
just
to-
be armory bonus too.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something right now. I remember reading something on that earlier.
Because I don't think armory bonus works 51 plus.
I think it does. I think it does. How else are you going to level all your other jobs from 50 to 60? Come on. I mean, we had armory bonus in 2.0.
Yeah,
So-
that's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's not a brand new thing. Anyway, anything else that you guys want to throw in on Palace of the Dead?
Oh,
Carry on, Sarah.
did you talk about the accursed horde?
No, we still have that to talk about
Oh.
too.
So
Klaus
I'll
trying to
mention
hear
that
about-
one because it's one of my favorite elements of it.
That has been an interesting one,
there's-
yes.
Every so often, there's an area where you have pieces of the accursed horde, pretty much treasure chests that are hidden somewhere in each floor. You can get a Pomander of Intuition, and if you use that, it'll signal you that there's one on this floor. It'll appear with a little glowing spot, and if you stand in that spot for not very long, just a few seconds, but you stay still in that spot, you'll dig up a chest. Two interesting thing about that. The chests are placed even if the Pomander is not in use. So it's possible that you pause for a moment, say you stand in a spot while you're tanking something, and you will all of a sudden find a chest you were not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually an achievement for finding enough of those.
It's kind of cool,
As a-
actually.
As a side note, they do often seem to be located near trap spots. So if you have trap spots visible for whatever reason, it might be worth standing around in a couple random spots just to see. Don't spend a lot of time on it, but it's worth a go.
Because remember,
There
you are
was-
timed for your 10 floors.
Nope, the clock is always ticking. Each of those cursed horde chests does give you a sack that has been sealed up. You take it out of the palace, give it to one of the expedition bishops to appraise, and they will get items out of it for you. Deeper floors tend to have better items, plenty of fireworks, of course, materia of varying grades, lots of glamour clothes, Allegan items. The survival set that I'm wearing right now, in fact, all came from Palace of the Dead drops. The glamour weapons from the primals. The deepest floors even have a couple mounts and other special things like that.
And then there's the hair.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
hair.
Right, there's I haven't seen that one, but apparently you can actually get a manual to teach a new hairstyle in there.
The Samson
Yep,
hair.
I've gotten it before.
For a while, it was selling for a few mil. I don't know if it's
Yeah, I
still
saw
selling for
one
that,
for-
but
I saw one for about 3.5 mil when it first came out.
I think it's still a pretty good amount.
I want to say when I was looking at it, it was like 8 mil for a while on Hyperion, but I think it's probably gone down.
It's about a couple 100K now, I think, on my server. If that.
So yeah,
Huh.
that's Palace of the Dead.
Yeah.
Treasure.
We'll skip for right now, going over the meta of it since we're running so long. But
Yeah.
if you guys still can't make sense of what we said, the Lodestone actually has a fantastic play guide that will go over everything, and I'm sure we're gonna link
Yeah,
that.
throw the link in the show notes, Luna, and I'll put it out on the show page.
That reminds me, it gives tomestones too.
Yep.
Yep, does
And
that
Gil, and yeah, it's a great way to level up, get loot, and make some money.
Yeah, I've noticed on my Lancer, which is about level 26 right now, that every 10 floors I gain another level. As I keep going, like if I'm in the 40s and 50s, I get half a level. In the six, going up within like 55 through 60, I get like 3/4, or not 3/4, like 1/4 of a level. So it's definitely good.
Yeah, a run of levels 1 through 50 will get you, hang on, I can math, 170 of your scripture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like over a third of your goal for the week right there.
Or you can just do PvP and have it done in a day.
I'm pretty sure like the Palace of the Dead might actually be faster.
I don't know.
And more fun.
Yeah.
They're both
Oh,
fun.
It depends on how your PvP is doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I capped out on my script pretty fast this week, so, and I think I did one run of expert, and then everything else was PvP.
Oh, the other thing that's really fun about it, the matching for it is actually super fast because it is not the 1 tank, 1 white mage, 2 DPS required.
Oh yeah,
it will just match the next 4 people.
Yep.
And almost any party setup will work for it, as like again, the floors 1 through 100, those aren't the super grind ones. They're generally easy enough that almost anything will work. I have had great times with 4 DPS floors.
I've had 4 healers once, and we all joked about the fact that we stole all the healers.
Probably did too.
Yeah, probably. Anyways,
And if you want to learn more about it, you can always email us, podcast@phoenixstarradio.com. You can send us a tweet at phxdnradio on Twitter, or you can hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/phoenixdownradio. So if you want to know more about anything that we've talked about today, just let us know. We really want to hear from you guys. Speaking of hearing from you guys, we got a couple of Twitter comments this week. At Vivi239 on Twitter commented on Seyrr's lore last week. The thing about the difference between Nofika and Menfina and the taboo of mixed race breeding is something I'd like to hear Ethis FFXIV talk about. And we want to get Ethis on here sometime, and that'd be cool to talk to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure that Menfina is definitely all about the getting down, and Nofika is more about the whole making things all.
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Oftentimes, a lot of these religious strictures are more reflections of the community's values.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, is this what the god actually wants? Is this just the stories that people about? Like, really, what we need are some anthropologists to get up in this shit.
Yeah. But no, we're definitely want to work with Ethis. We've extended the invitation, and we're just working with him to try and get a good time in. And so hopefully sometime in the near future, we'll have him on. I know the time differences is always a fun one to work with too. So
yeah, that whole entire Australian time zone thing.
Yeah, he's way the hell halfway across the world. So
he's on the opposite end of Chile.
Yeah, well, he's even further than that.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But hey, it would be daytime now, though, so...
Yeah, but still. And then Otaku Pirate 84 on Twitter. Shout outs to the last podcast, which reminded me that Frontlines exists. Garo Glam, here we go.
I have seen a lot of people with the glamour or with the titles, and that's leading to, it's like, maybe this isn't quite as difficult as I initially thought.
The whole Garo thing, it's good in the fact that you don't actually, there's not a huge story you have to push through. It's just, you do a couple of things, you do the PvPs, you buy the gear, and you go.
I did wish it had some story, though.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I mean...
I still don't know what Garo is. No idea.
Apparently, my understanding is that it's like Power Rangers, except with more Battle Royale bloodiness.
And a little darker theme.
Okay.
You should go Google it.
You go Google it.
You go Google it.
No.
Don't make me turn this podcast around.
Well,
Dad!
if we turn it around, then we're going to have to go backwards through, start talking about Palace of the Dead, and then we'll have to go through the...
Well, I love Palace
my
of the Dead,
God.
so,
It will be here for
I was
another...
gonna do ARF runs.
And it will be another 2.5 hours, so... If you really want...
But it's already 5 a.m., so,
Well, yeah, so you probably don't want that. Anyway, I want to... before we head out and do our shout-outs, I want to do a one real big quick shout-out to our newest patron on Patreon, Major Douche. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. If you want to join him and the others who are patrons on there, you can go to patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio, and you can basically pledge us whatever amount you want. As little as $1 up to however much you feel that we're worth. Basically, and if everything we get from Patreon is used to improve the show, to pay for hosting, to improve the quality of our equipment, and just make an overall better experience for you guys. So Major, so Remix, and all of our patrons, thank you so much for your support. We're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for everybody, but thank you again so much. We really do appreciate it. Other shout outs from people?
I want to give a shout out to our good buddies over at Maelstrom. I had the pleasure of running with all three of them, with Flattish, Shinrite, and Curry in Duneskythe a day or two ago, and it was a blast. It was my first time DPSing it, and big shout out if you want to check out another Final Fantasy podcast, check out Maelstrom Radio.
Yep, Chili and I actually crashed their chat this week, so it was kind of fun.
Good job, guys.
Well, Chili always crashes them, I know, but I've been checking out their last couple of episodes, and it's been kind of funny. So,
Nice.
Who's next?
I'll give a shout out to someone whose name I wish I had caught. Unnamed person, I hope you hear this. You were in a Frontlines match that I got random into. You directed people without calling them idiots, without getting terribly upset if someone misunderstood or made a mistake on something, but you explained to people the general flow of how we wanted things to go early on, and then gave reminders throughout, and we actually won that Frontlines match pretty handily.
Huzzah.
It was great. Like, that's the way to do it. Like,
I don't believe you, Seyrr. That doesn't happen in PvP.
Really? I see it often.
Maybe it's happening on the other teams, and that's why they're beating you.
You're probably right.
Probably. Probably.
Ooh, 50-year-old
So
Scotch
beautiful.
paired with lore discussion. Oh, that sounds amazing, Major. 50 years, but that's a very old Scotch, though. That'd be very expensive too.
Also, I'm more of a fruity girl drinks type.
I'll take his Scotch then. Chili?
I want to shout out to Remix Sakura. Thank you for pointing out some of the names we got wrong. You're awesome. A shout out to Daltree. Thanks for joining us. A shout out to everyone in this chat room. And a shout out, of course, to Evolved Mail, aka Samus Rageborn, aka your girlfriend's favorite streamer. As always. And a shout out to Klaus, because that's how I always do it now.
Yeah.
It's in my contract.
I see how it is.
Well,
I see how it is, Chili.
I don't know why, but he
What
shouts.
you're saying is
Go ahead.
the romance has gone out of the relationship. It's just the thing that's expected. He doesn't feel it, but he does it anyways because he fears what might happen otherwise.
I might get removed from the intro that I just got added to.
That's not why you got added to the intro. You got added because you're awesome, Chili. And I
thank
don't know
you.
why he just always shouted me out. And when we started talking, he started shouting me out on his other podcast, PlayStation Unchained, and it just became a running joke. So we just keep it up now. It's kind of funny. But no, I want to throw out an extra shout out to everybody watching us. Thank you so much for checking us out here on twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. Everybody listening out on the podcast, out on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or from our website, PhoenixDownRadio.com. We really appreciate you giving us a listen. And if you want to check us out live sometime, we're every other Saturday night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, right here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. We urge you to come and check it out, hang out in the chat, and just have a good time with us. Thank you again for joining us. It's never a terrible time. You should know that.
Just have a time. We'll work out whether it's good or not later.
It's always great. Come on. We're wonderful people.
Every day's great at your Tunes.
Everybody watching us is amazing. So,
And as always, praise Lord Lava Scorpion.
Worst named ever.
Does he give like medical, including dental? Because I could be
No.
won over to this.
No, you do not get insurance.
He
So
died for your tombstones.
he died so
What
he
about
can
my
get tombstones.
tombstones?
Yes.
Where's
So,
my pizza?
for Lunavox, for Seyrr Timono, and for Chili, who may get removed from the intro after this.
See you guys sometime in the
Ouch.
future.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm Klaus
He's
Nightbringer.
not kidding.
I'm totally kidding. Wishing everybody
He's not.
an amazing, wonderful evening. Take care.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.